Everyone,
players
welcome
in
back to
Meta
Tranquility
Rejects
here, where we have our
Undead
finals
Battery,
of the Ascendance draft tournament here tonight. I am
which is
actually
named on
joined
the
by
thing
Karma with
Undead.
the 4. Karma, man, how are you doing?
has 5. So
I'm doing pretty good. Last night we had a rainstorm here, so I'm sort of glad that we didn't do it because my power was flickering a bit, and I was going to be scheduled to cast. So I'm doing pretty good, especially being back again
muted.
now that weather's
okay.
sort of settled down, everything's back to normal, and we're about to see some craziness here.
All right, all five
Speaking
players
of weather,
are in.
I had a bad storm roll through where I am about an hour and a half ago. Very scary weather here, but everything is fine. Now, like you said, a very exciting game here. These two teams, Karma, we've actually already casted these two teams in the first day of this tournament last Saturday. It was our last game of the night where the Meta Rejects beat Undead Battery.
Well, only one R
there,
from,
but it looks like both these teams have kind of had a different path to get here.
Yeah, it really
yeah,
has.
Lijiang Tower
like we saw
is
before, I remember saying Meta Rejects looked like the strongest team out of the two. Maybe Undead Battery is ready to sort of flip it on its head, especially with how it sort of seemed like they weren't ready to make it. But hey, like I was talking with some of the players behind the scenes, they're saying, hey, everybody beat everybody in the other bracket or in the other side that we just weren't able to see. So who knows? Maybe they are able to just take that strength and just keep on rolling with it, especially throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe like Undead Battery's name, they're coming back to life right now at the perfect time here. Meta Rejects, though, like you said, probably one of the strongest teams we saw that first night of this tournament here. So it's not a shock that we're seeing them make it to this point. But like you said, both sides of the bracket had a lot of losses, and maybe one or two teams I didn't expect to lose, lost here. And we have ourselves a very
just to let you know,
final.
Yeah, we really do. As we head into first map, which if you knew before, it was pushed out, but now we're going to control with Lijiang Tower on our first map, which is one of the more, I think this is one of the best maps in the entirety of the game. I don't know if it's just bias coming myself, because that's always the map that you start off with whenever you start scrims. But what are your expectations heading into this first map?
But I'll try to start every single map with like going to the middle of the map.
Like everyone plays this their first scrim map. This is a great warm-up map. You can play a lot of different comps to success on any map here. So that's why you see a lot of teams kind of gravitate towards it. They want to see what the other team is going to come out playing, what comp they're going to play, and how they want to necessarily play. So, whoever picked this map definitely wants to try to ease into this finals here, because as it is a first to 3 here, best of 5 unless we somehow get a tie. It's not like it was last week for these teams, where one loss, you're already on game point. And they had a little bit of experience with that yesterday, since it was a first to 3 yesterday as well.
Yeah, and like you said too, a lot of different comps can run out on this map. Night Market, I know a lot of people try to go with the standard brawl, but hey, you can run the ball comp, you can run the Saudi Arabian double flyer comp, you can run a lot of stuff, especially on Gardens. Really, the only one that I think sort of plastered, run Ryan v Ryan or Brawl v Brawl, is indoor, which Control Center, I mean, hey, that's great. You run the Junkrat, you can run the May, you can run the Cassidy even, and even then, you still have these sort of little minute differences between each team that you can run, and it's going to be very interesting to see what these two teams decide to run out on.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, like Control Center is definitely more of a brawl map. Night Market, I mean, you could play brawl, you could play something, you could play a dive, you could play ball, you could play almost anything there. And then Gardens as well is something where, a lot of times you tend to see, at least at the start, maybe trending towards a dive comp. You could see a brawl comp come out there, but you have to play it very fast to try to get there before that dive comp is able to get there.
Yeah, not to mention too, getting there before, if the enemy team's running afar, getting there before the boop comes in, because a lot of teams fall for that, especially the Lucio rollout that a lot of people have perfected in higher elo, and especially since this is an Ascendant, I'm expecting to see some of those very high plays come out, especially on those Lucio players if we're able to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Those plays that those Lucios, wow, those plays that those Lucios can do are I'm jealous, because I cannot do them at all.
No.
But still, as we head in here, we kind of I think me and you after last Saturday expected to see the Meta Rejects here. Undead Barry, though, like you talked about a little bit. Kind of surprised they were here. The one game we saw them, they kind of looked like they didn't know necessarily what was going on, but it definitely seems like since last Saturday they have found their momentum, they found their pace, and they found their way to play.
Yeah, and even if I remember going back to that last Saturday, they had like some of those ideas too, where it's like they felt like they know what they're doing, but Metarejects just kept on beating into them. They weren't able to get that momentum going. Whereas, especially if they were able to build up that momentum last night, coming into here today, maybe they have that momentum already built, and they're like, hey, we can run through over anybody. Whereas, like both sides is sort of at an even playing field now, and it's sort of rough.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as we still kind of wait for the teams to go in here. I mean, we saw these two teams play, last week. And Meta Rejects definitely has some advantage over Undead Batteries just based off that meeting there. But still a lot could change in a week. And like you kind of said just a minute ago, like Undead Battery definitely found something. They definitely have started to play a lot better. That's why they are here. Do you expect that maybe we see the kind of the flips? Wow, the script flipped here. I can't speak tonight, man. The script flipped in this week here, or the finals here, where Undead Battery comes out and makes Meta Rejects kind of look like they're questioning themselves a little bit.
If I have to go back on what I saw last week and over the weekend, I still have to go with Meta Rejects. They look strong. They have a very good team surrounding them. Smeegs looks really good. But on Undead Battery, they do have a lot of unknowns. Even though we do talk to a few of the players behind the scenes, a lot of them are in the Twitch group here, a part of Discord. It's still a lot of these question marks that we don't really know about Undead Battery. So if I have to go with it, I got to go with Meta Rejects just based off of what we saw last week, and as well as, hey, they're here, aren't they? I'm pretty sure that they can, and this was sort of what we saw. This is the exact matchup that we saw last time. So I think I got to just go with what history happened.
And then I'll rock with Undead Battery then, so we're not completely caster cursing one team, so we're not completely biased towards one team here at the production. But Undead Battery, they're here. I did not expect them to be here, and I like what I've been saying. I feel like they found their momentum, their pace of play. Like they got here now, and I feel like they're gonna kind of surprise the Meta Rejects here in this first map.
Yeah, and they really could, as I believe we start to head in, because I can hear the music in my ears. But it's going to be interesting to see what Undead Battery is able to come out on, especially as we head into Lijiang Tower, and just exciting to watch these two teams go at it one more time.
Yeah, absolutely. But once we know what point we're going to here first, it's really going to kind of, allow us to see what comps we might see here. If we're going to Control Center first, and I definitely expect to see a Brawl comp and nothing else really. If you basically play anything else on Control Center, you better make sure you're winning that first team fight, because I don't feel like you're going to be winning another team fight after that.
It really is. I believe I hear a Life Weaver. I hope they're just baiting us, because I think I hear a Life Weaver and a Baptiste. Let's see. We are on, I can't tell. Trying to figure it out. Gardens. We're on Gardens. It's going to be interesting seeing a ball come out from Meta Rejects and seeing a Ramatra sort of brawl style come out on. Oh no, it's Night Market.
Oh, it's Night Market. Wow.
I got baited by you, but we're seeing the Saudi Arabian come out with the ball comp, and then the brawl come out from Undead Battery.
Yeah, but Undead Battery using that Sensi P to get straight to point. A normal kind of start here for a lot of teams. Want to get to point, try to bunker down on point. They have those sim turrets set up there. Charybdis, though, does find Smugs, get everything started here. However, you already see the Meta Rejects with that backline in their tank already kind of rotated their 2 point. They're able to take care of Charybdis. Capital will trade out one, Slow will trade out Poppy, and Meta Rejects should be able to win this team fight off those kills there, but the Undead Battery is still going to put up a little bit of a fight here.
Yeah, with Meta Rejects comp, especially if Undead Battery does decide to go in, as they're trying to keep this point going, as it looks like they're about to cap it. But especially against Meta Rejects comp, you want to try to boop them, or you want to try to spawn, you want to try to go on one person, whereas on the side of Meta Rejects, you want to try to boop them away and try to split them as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Slow, able to find Capital out early. Akua able to find Poppy, and that might already kind of shut down this attack here from the Undead Battery. You're still going to see him commit to it, but Charybdis falling there. It's a 2v5 here at the moment. You're just trying to take out maybe one person. Actually, Undead Battery is able to actually take control of the point here first. Meta Rejects finally able to take control.
Yeah, Meta Rejects actually finally able to get control. Gets 2 ults on board as well. What Undead Battery is already making swaps. Poppy off of the Symmetra onto the Sombra, excuse me, to try to deal with, they call me M's wall, and try to make sure that they're not just rolling through their team every single time.
The Hack's trying to come out there onto anyone they can. Not gonna be able to find anyone. Akua will be able to shut down Poppy there. So that's Sombra swap there. Not necessarily working out here at the start. MetaRejects do now take the lead as Undead Battery not necessarily wanting to commit to anything without that Sombra.
Yeah, they really don't, as both teams have a few ultimates up, 3 ultimates to be certain. But now it's going to be rough. Poppy finds They Call Me M on the ball, and the pulse comes out from the side of Slow.
Here comes a barrage from Akua. They find one before, but not able to find anything with that barrage there. Undead Battery still just have a little bit of the advantage right now, so they still have their tank up and fighting right now. They're trying to make their way to point. They're starting to cap point. Poppy will also find Slow here. A great pick off there, but here comes the minefield from the Column M. And it does kind of shut down a lot of the play on point right now, but the Annihilation coming out here from Star Platinum will allow Undead Battery to flip the point.
And they get the flip, and the mines just sort of stick on one side as they're trying to get it, but Undead Battery is able to get 2 more, as Sandy is able to revive Smugs, and they might be trying to fight this a little bit while they're down a few.
And honestly, with that res there on the Smugs, you have both your support lined up. You have that Pharah still there. That Pharmacy combo can rain in a lot of damage, and you can make sure with that Ana right there from Smugs that, you know, you might see that Nano come onto that Pharah. They're so close to another barrage here. The damage is coming out here from Capital. Will not find a lot as Capital gets taken out. The EMP, though, coming out here from Poppy will find 2. Already 1 taken out there. Here comes the barrage, though, from Akua. They find 1. They find 2 right before it. Akua, though, eventually falls there to Poppy. Smugs, though, able to shut down that Sombra, and now all they have to do is get rid of Needle here on point.
All they have to do is get rid of Needle, but hey, it's a Lucio. But as we end of the day, it's MetaRejects able to cop it, and Slow decides, you know what, I'm done with the Tracer. I'm going to take a Sombra of my own as they get Capital a little bit staggered there, so that way they're going to try to get to about 80%.
Absolutely here, but you do see Poppy trying to rain in some damage. They were actually able to hack up Slow there. Slow trying to get a hack there on the Carib. That's not going to be able to here. As an Undead Battery now, you know, waiting for a lot of their players to come back, and we're seeing a complete swap here from the support line for them. Yeah,
we're seeing a complete swap onto the star-studded ball comp. Even Charybdis decides, you know what, I'm not going to deal with the freeze. I'm going to swap right away to getting rid of that. So it's going to be no ults to no ults, whereas Slow is close to the EMP, something that you're going to have to worry about, especially against Undead Battery's backline.
Yeah, but Star Platinum right now in a world of hurt, rolling out there to make sure they do not die. Column M actually is able to take care of Poppy there. Needle falls as well. Capital able to take care of 1, but that's going to be the only thing Undead Battery gets in this team fight. However, they need to keep on this point right now. Star Platinum actually able to find Sandy on that ball. Grip is trying to do a lot here. The EMP comes out from Slow. Does not find anyone there, but the hack on Star Platinum after might just do the job. They're looking for the minefield coming out here from They Call Me M right there all over point. You're still seeing some members of Undead Battery come back in here. Then hack there on the Needle pretty much shuts them down. Capital trying to come in using that Suzu fast will not find anything other than Slow there. And now this Kariko here that Capital's doing is trying to do a lot. EMP coming up from Poppy will not find necessarily anyone there as the Nano comes on to Column M.
And Nano comes out, and they're trying to stay alive, but Capital is finding one more. Found Sandy. Recall is bowed out by the script. Star Platinum finds one, and Column M gets one more. And they're turning the fight as they cap the point now with just at the last second.
Huge plays coming out from Capital, who I thought might use the Suzu a little bit too early there, but it was a great play coming out from them. They find 2 kills and a lot of help there from the rest of their team. Undead Battery keeping this round alive here.
Yeah, keeping them alive, and I don't know if you're seeing this, but I'm getting amnesia here. Undead Battery getting it up to 90% and having 3 ultimates basically online for the side of MetaRejects. They don't have anything.
Yeah, Undead Battery now in a great spot. The minefield comes up all over point. Those mines are. This is a very dangerous area right now for MetaRejects to come in, but they have to touch here. But Slow does take care of Capital. It's a huge kill for them. However, Capital did invest that Kitsune rush there before that fight starts. They do have that for a little bit, but they're down a support at the moment. Not necessarily the best look for them right now, but Christmas will find Akua. The beat coming out from Needle, kind of trying to keep everyone alive here for Undead Battery. Now, Column M has a minefield of their own all over point. The EMP coming out here, though, from Slow does hit 3 members of Undead Battery. A trade coming out there. Star Platinum for Slow right there. And Undead Battery still keeping it in this fight, even with all the mines.
Yeah, this is the one thing you got to deal with, especially with this ball comp, is how lively you can stay alive. But Call Me M is able to get that minefield, as it looks like MetaRejects is going to be able to turn it.
But we have seen Capital make some incredible plays before. Can they do it again? Akua, what happened there, man? Smugs, though, able to take care of Needle right there, but Undead Battery still holding on at this point now. The Kasuni rush coming out here from Smugs. His Meta Reject still looking here to cap the point. They're picking up the kills. However, the numbers are just trickling back in here for Undead Battery, but eventually it will flip over, and the Meta Rejects, after what seemed like an eternity, are able to win this first point.
Yeah, finally, after what it seemed like 13 minutes of overtime there, getting it to 99-99. Both teams making sure, like, hey, we're going to fight tooth and nail for this point, and now they're going to have to fight for it now on Garden, something that you could sort of run. I feel like a lot of people try to run this sort of this Winston's comp, or you could run the exact same comp that they were running before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Meta Reject's not... Okay, as I say that, they're starting to change it. I love when that happens. So, hey, I remember last week it was happening to you all the time. This week it's going to happen to me all the time.
Yeah, it is. Undead Battery is going to come out on this Winston comp, Winston Echo. Something that we see a little bit of, especially here. Try to take control of this little pillar side on this left-hand side and just sort of play a little bit of a semi-brawl with the Winston.
Column M is trying to just pull some people off the map. They're not going to be able to at the moment. Actually going to be Capital find them, but Akua with those grenades able to find the backline there for Undead Battery. Undead Battery has to back off of that, especially with Charybdis falling right there.
Yeah, Charybdis falls, and Akua on the 3K right now, just cleaning everybody up as he gets 4 for Star Platinum. But Undead Battery making some swaps. Poppy over to the Sombra again, and Charybdis back onto the Tracer to try to deal with this, to try to deal with Slow and They Call Me M on that side, on the side of Meta Rejects.
Yeah, absolutely here right now. Column M getting hacked right there. Not gonna be much of a follow-up there from Undead Battery. If they're able to get rid of Column M out early, it does give them a lot of space to do. Akua getting low, not gonna be able to die there. There is a support line there for the Meta Rejects, doing a good job. Now Column M actually in a dangerous spot, but because they're a ball, able just to roll on out.
Yeah, we'll just roll on out. Stickies come in from the side of Akuya, trying to find one as Slow has to use as forced to use the recall on the side of Purple. But Akuya copies the Winston, and now they have 2 tanks on the point.
Welcome back to Overwatch 1. The 2 tanks making the difference here. Slow able to find Stall Paradigm. Akua now does have that primal rage ready to go. They are throwing hands, able to find Capital. They're Slow, able to find Needle with their pulse bomb of their own, and Akua getting 2 kills with the primal rage in the duplicate form.
Yep, Primal Rage on the duplicate form, something that you can get very, very fast, but on the side of Meta Rejects, they only have the Nano, and they're close to Call Me M's, Mines, and Sandy's Valkyrie. On the side of Undead Battery, they're close to 4 ultimates as well, with Poppy's EMP being the star one there.
Yeah, Poppy's EMP needs to be huge here. They're looking for a very dangerous one. They're going to hit both the support lines here, which is a great play coming out for them. The Nano coming out onto, I believe it went to the Mercy as Akua finds Capital right there. Slow will find Charybdis, and even with the EMP invested and the Pulse Bomb invested, nothing coming from Undead Battery here.
Yeah, nothing coming in, but hey, Undead Battery have 1 more fight. They got 80%, but on the side of Meta Rejects, they're in their spawn, trying to spawn camp them to make sure they can't get the point.
Yeah, absolutely. No changes coming from the Undead Battery's comp right now. They definitely are just trying to get some people to touch. The Nano coming out on a Star Platinum on point. They'll be able to build up a Primal Rage with that. Now the Minefield coming out on point from Column M. For the first time this map, I think someone on the Meta Rejects has died, but Column M able to find Star Platinum there. It does force out the rally from Needle as they are trying to keep themselves alive. Charybdis will find Sandy. That's a huge pick-off there for Undead Battery. But Column M alive and rolling, putting in a lot of damage on that ball right there. Is able to find Poppy. Capital, though, winning the duel of the Anas there right now, getting rid of Smugs as Undead Battery actually able to take the control of the point here.
Yeah, and Charybdis there was sort of the star player for Undead Battery, being able to, I think, find 3 there, including Akua at the very end, making sure they can't stay alive. And then, like you said, Capital getting their copy on Smug, so that way they can call him in on a diff right there.
Yeah, now Undead Battery has control of this point right now. Let's see what they can do here a little bit. Because now Meta Rejects has to come to them. 2 ultimates already ready for Undead Battery as the duplication for Akua comes out. Sandy falling off the map there. Column N falling off the map. Akua on this Winston might not be able to do a lot here, but they do have the Primal Rage. They are using it. Slow will find Poppy. However, Charybdis comes right back and takes care of Slow there. Akua not getting as much value as they got out of that duplication last time. Has to get out of this one.
Yeah, now Undead Battery has the ult advantage as well, 2 of their ultimates, but they're trying to focus out Kami M as the nade comes in and doesn't find anybody.
Absolutely right there. Column M getting incredibly low right now. You do see Star Platinum dive in. They get slept. They're going to pop that Primal Rage right off the back of waking up there. Star Platinum immediately takes care of the person who put them to sleep, and now they're knocking people off the map here. However, everyone they knocked off the map can basically fly themselves right back up, and they're able to do just that. That would have been a great play from Star Platinum. Just kind of ruined there by all those characters.
Yeah, but Kami M decides I've had enough of this ball. I'm switching back over to the Winston. Now, especially if they have Smugs as Nano, it's going to be a rough fight, and could be heading into final fight territory here.
EMP coming out here does hit to Sandy, immediately taken out there by Star Platinum. The Pulse Bomb coming out from Slow does find Needle. Star Platinum with that Nano boost, still able to find Column M. Charybdis will find Akua, and like you said, Meta Reject's going to have to make some swaps here, or just try to get back to this point as fast as they can now.
Yeah, and it looks like it could be rough. I don't think they have a chance to be able to.
And, oh, the ball actually able to get back. Column M makes a last-second switch there, just a touch in time, and now you're starting to see everyone come back for the Meta Rejects. Now the rally coming out here from Needle, Akua, Sandy falling to their death for the second time this point. Not what you like to see. I believe I just saw a Nano Tracer there, but only saw him for a brief moment before they were sent to their grave.
Yeah, and they were sent to their grave, literally. Undead Battery being able to come back at 99-0, being able to hold them and make sure that, like, hey, they took their advantages very, very fast, and being able to take that advantage. Like I said before, they had that ult advantage. They're like, you know what, we're gonna go fast, we're gonna go early, make sure that we can try to go for the last fight, and they did it. They were this close to making it to the last fight because M was just able to touch it just the nick of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember what happened on first point. That last team fight lasted for a long time here. But as we head into the one map that we basically kind of talked about, we know what we're going to see here. I'll be honestly surprised if we don't see a Brawl mirror match.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm going to be surprised we don't see it as we head into it. And let's see, we do see, oh no, Meta Rejects is actually going to stick to this ball comp.
Well, they are, you know, making sure that they get their name across right now. Meta Rejects rejecting the meta for this map in particular here. Column M has to be the one that has to be the biggest contributor for them here. As Smugs able to find Capital out here early down that Baptiste, that allows Meta Rejects here to kind of play a little bit more aggressively without that Immortality field.
Yeah, and especially with this Pharah from the side of Akua, Undead Battery is going to have a very tough time dealing with it because the only thing that can really shoot it is Capital, and he's on the Baptiste.
Yeah, not necessarily the person you want to be focusing on, the character flying up in the sky, but, you know, Baptiste is not the worst, but, you know, Meta Rejects here really making this comp work out so far. Able to win that team fight there, able to shut down Charybdis then, send everyone for Undead Battery back to spawn.
Yeah, they really are, as I'm hoping they make some swaps here, especially with how rough it's going to be, as we do Poppy onto the Sombra once again, but Charybdis onto the Cassidy now to try to deal with Akua's Pharah.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how they play, how Undead Battery with these changes plays, because the DPS line could absolutely work with this Brawl style, but I feel like you want to play something a little bit faster when you're playing a Sombra and a Cassidy. Column M, though, able to shut down Capital. Charybdis falls as well. Capital has not really been allowed to play much this point.
No, they really haven't. I don't think I think this is the highest that they've been in. They're less percentage to their amplification matrix than Meta Rejects has on the point, and that shows you how difficult how badly they're dealing with today.
Oh no. Slow Psalm, they have the EMP ready. The Barrage is also ready as well. This could be a deadly combo here, but they do lose their Translocator. Whoever's still in a very dangerous spot, just waiting for some more members to come out. Here comes the EMP, does hit 2 members there. Gonna be no Barrage coming out from them right now, but they do still have a couple members attack. However, Charybdis able to find the first kill here onto the Meta Rejects, finding Slow. There's a Nano though, coming on to Akua. Here comes Barrage. They find one before, but not gonna be able to find anything with that Barrage. Beat coming out from Needle as they realize this could be final fight territory.
Yeah, it really could, as the beat comes out from Needle and the mines come out from M, something that's going to be very difficult to deal with as Star Platinum is trying to get rid of him.
absolutely, but Column able to shut down Star. Platinum there. Smugs able to take care of one, and Akua able to kind of clean it up here for the Meta Rejects, who looked dominant on this point, rejecting the meta that almost every team plays, going or sticking with that ball comp and the pharmacy combo, sticking true to their name.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of a shot at me, because I remember last time we casted them, they were just playing meta on every single map. They're like, okay, you know what, we're called Meta Rejects, we're actually gonna do it this time. But yeah, like you said, Meta Rejects looked dominant on that final map, running the pharmacy and the ball comp. I think if you're Undead Battery, you need to make those swaps just a little bit sooner. I think as soon as you see it, you go back, you go back to spawn. I think Charybdis might not have died, and that's why they decided not to swap. I think even then, you do need to go back. And I think we saw that also on first point. They decided to switch to the Zen traditional ball comp at the very end of it, when I feel like if you wanted to switch it, you need to do that sooner, right when they switch to the Sombras. That way you can get set up and get those engages going.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, I still felt like them sticking with the Ron was a very interesting choice, especially when your DPS kind of went to a faster kind of play style. And like you said, probably need to swap up a little bit faster, but they wanted to really stick with it, because I felt like they felt that if they were able to win teamfight, cap the point, they had the best comp they had to just hold on to that point forever.
Yeah, they really did, and I wouldn't be surprised too if Star Platinum were to switch to the Winston. I feel like they could have done a lot better, especially since the Ana was just sort of sitting there by themselves on that platform. Something that's fairly easy diveable, especially with the Winston. And if they're not able to get a pocket, or you're able to pull that Mercy away from Akua's Pharah, then you can deal with them a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely here. But you know, Undead Battery, unlike last week when we cast this team not on game point right now. Still, though, you want to have them win this next map here, just to, add a little bit of pressure to Meta Rejects. Because at the moment, I felt like Undead Battery had a good shot the first point. They looked great on the second point. But then third point, again, we've been talking about here. They didn't necessarily look good to start out. They stuck too long on some heroes and just did not swap in time.
Yeah, and it's going to be rough, especially heading into a hybrid map where, especially if Meta Rejects has a map that they can play ball on, they look dominant on it. And I would be surprised if we see Undead Battery come out on something different, but we did get map confirm as we're heading to Scrim's Row next. We're getting the whole Scrim trilogy here.
Wait, what's the third map then in the Scrim's trilogy?
Well, it's Lijiang Tower first, always. King's Row has to be in it. And then I feel like now it has to be, let's see, what is it? I always like to go Eichenwald as my third. That always I feel like shows up in scrims, either that or Dorado. But I feel like always these two are always in it.
I mean, yeah, this is called Scrim's Row for a reason. Lijiang Tower, we see it a lot because, like I said, I feel like a lot of teams really like it because it's just a good kind of warm-up map, no matter what kind of comp you're playing. But King's Row, you kind of know what to expect here. A little bit of brawl. However, I feel like we have seen a lot of dive work recently at higher levels here on King's Row.
Yeah, and it's also very interesting, too, because I remember when King's Row came out, I think everybody ran Rhine. I think when Rhine is good, and you're going to see King's Row a lot. But I think the dive also is very, very strong. Being able to get that high ground around it, it's sort of one of those, I like to call them fishbowl comps, like Numbani. The Brazil map is one of those as well, where the high Paricio, thank you, the point is surrounded by those high grounds. And King's Row sort of has a similar feel, but it's just very blocked off because of the hard cover, as it seems.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also remember when King's Row came into the game during the beta. But I feel like a lot recently we've seen a lot of different teams, a lot of teams play different comps on King's Row to great success. And with how good these players are, I would not be surprised if we see the ball comp continue here for Meta Rejects. They looked very good on it on Lijiang Tower. And honestly, that's what they're doing here on defense. That actually kind of surprises me.
Yeah, that surprises me as well, but it's something too where it could be a run, especially with slow on the Hanzo, being able to boop them into your line of sight. But we see Undead Battery starting with the Winston comp instead of trying to go for the brawl and just deal with the ball, deal with the Kamiam's ball themselves.
Yeah, but we're looking at the same thing we kind of saw on third point of Li Jiang. I mean, Undead Battery, the only person that can really shut down Akua in the sky is Capital. Yeah, Charybdis and Poppy can, you know, pepper in some shots, but there's really no good, accurate shot there to really try to shut down this pharmacy.
Yeah, and it's going to be rough, especially, but now Star Platinum being able to try to dive, but gets slowed and purpled and deleted by Slow.
They got bullied there. That's all that happened. Slow, though, actually in a very dangerous spot right now, able to get healed up there by their supports, and now it's Charybdis who's in the spot they very much would like to get out of.
Yeah, as we see Slow trying to hit those shots, but is unable to. But yeah, Undead Battery trying to find that space to be able to dive in, and it's going to be rough again for them, especially with them playing in this position. But Slow is able to find Needle, and Charybdis is trying to find Kua.
Yeah, and they find Slow as well, and they find Sandy, so no res for them here. Undead Battery just need to get a couple kills here, and that pulse bomb there from Charybdis, and Smugs falling as well means everyone from Meta Rejects is down and out here, and Undead Battery should be able to cap point off of this.
Yeah, I think they do, and I would be surprised if they try to take a little bit of space here, as the side of Meta Rejects have the ult advantage. They have the Nano and the Barrage, as well as they're pretty close to closed Dragons. Something that's very good to split up Undead Battery, especially with that backline of the Ana and the Brig.
Poppy able to take care of Smugs there. Calm M, though, picking up right where they left off on Li Jiang Tower. They're shutting down Poppy, and now Capital peppering in some damage here on to Akua, as they do not have that pharmacy pocket right now. And Undead Battery continue to push this card as the Nano comes out here on the Star Platinum. They're able to find Slow there, and that's a great pick up. And now they're diving after the Mercy. Poppy, the Primal Rage, to try to get rid of them. Not going to be able to do it just yet, but now they're finally going to be able to.
Yeah, and backs out perfectly, has about 3 seconds left with the Primal, making sure that they get out safe and sound. But with that, that's 2 ultimates that they popped that I don't think they really needed to. Whereas on the side of Meta Rejects, they have all 4 of them up and ready to be popped at any second.
Yeah, and Column M swapping over to the Ramatra here. I really do like the swap here. The Ramatra, I mean, still very strong right now. Can apply a lot of pressure to almost any of the lines here. Front line, back line, mid line. I mean, Ramatra is still very scary in some fights.
Yeah, it very is, as we see him trying to go in and make some punches, but Slow is able to find one, and Akua making sure that they can go up, and it's just the supports and tank left for the side of Undead Battery.
Oh, and Needle in an absolutely terrible spot right now. Star Platinum is still alive to try to come help him out, but Akua gonna make sure they finish the job.
Yeah, make sure they clean them up. But on the side of Undead Battery, now you get to the point where it's going to be rough to try to hit. This Streets phase is always very rough to attack on, especially if you get stopped. But hey, they have 3 ultimates on their own side.
Absolutely here, but I mean, Akua's holding on to this barrage here, definitely looking for an opportunity to use it. No, the bubble is gone here for Star Platinum, so they might be looking for a free opportunity right now, kind of hanging around the skybox here right now, but they're falling back, as it seems like Meta Rejects is actually kind of pressuring Undead Battery away from the card here at the moment.
Yeah, it really is. It slows. Dragons come in, try to split their team, but the barrage comes in, isn't able to find one, and almost falls themselves. And it looks like it's going to be Meta Rejects being able to be rough as EMP gets popped and finds 3.
Finds 3, but will there be any follow-up from it? The pulse bomb coming out there from Charybdis will find nothing here. So that EMP was a wasted one there. Poppy will find Slow, but that might be the only thing Undead Battery has to say for this fight.
Yeah, it really might. As Akua finds Needle on the point, and yeah, it looks like Undead Battery is just counting their losses, trying to back off. They might be able to get, they call me M here, is a little bit overextended, but that ante onto Star Platinum makes it so that way they back off, and it looks like we might be seeing swaps here from Undead Battery as Needle decides to get off of the Brigitte onto the Lucio themselves.
Yeah, they needed to have something swap up here. I don't know if it was necessarily going to the Lucio, but I want to see how it worked out for them. See Nano coming out here on the Star Platinum again as Analyst comes out here from column N, and you immediately see everyone try to run away from that, but Poppy able to shut down the Annihilation there, and Undead Battery need to take advantage of them, of Meta Rejects being down a tank. However, Slow immediately evens the playing field.
Yeah, they really do, as Charybdis tries to find him, but isn't able to successfully get him. As the barrage comes out and the Nano finding 2, and Charybdis gets shut down. Pulse Bomb comes out before he's able to die, but Star Platinum pops the Primal to try to get some more space. It just has to retreat with it.
Yeah, and at this point right now, that pulse swap coming out from Charybdis, I would expect a swap coming from them, but no, it's Capital who's actually swapping it to the Kiriko. Now, they did really good on Kiriko on the second point of Lijiang Tower, but again, I'm still willing to expect to see a swap coming out from the DPS line here.
Yeah, especially with that Pharah just getting free reign. They have not really been pressured. I don't think Akua has died yet today.
They had died, I believe, once, but Star Platinum shining down slow, but Poppy getting slapped. They're definitely going to die off that. Akua, with help from everybody who was alive, make sure of it there. However, Akua in a bad spot. Slow going to get res here. That pocket nowhere to be found there for Akua. Allows him to die, and now Undead Battery looking to try to clean up this team play here. Already shut down 2, but Slow coming back into this fight. Finds 2 quick kills to even it out, make it 3 quick kills. Slow getting res, coming back from the dead, finding 4.
Finding 4 and cleaning up the fight thanks to Sandy's Valkyrie. And we see Undead Battery making those final swaps, but it could be too little too late. 30 seconds left. You see Charybdis onto the Sojourn and Star Platinum onto the Junker Queen now. Something that's going to be very interesting, especially with these dragons coming out.
Poppy is in a very good spot right now. They have that EMP ready. Could hit a lot of members of Meta Rejects here.
Yeah, it could, but M gets a little bit overextended and falls. This could be the site for Meta Rejects, but they do find one more, but it's good. They need to touch the point.
Kitsune coming in right now. Poppy does have that EMP ready, but they do find Slow before Capital finds Smugs. This is looking great for Undead Barry. They might be able to hold on to this EMP right now. They're trying to get rid of this Mercy. They're gonna be able to do that. Now all they have to do is get rid of, I believe that's Akua, and they're gonna be able to do that and buy themselves another minute and a half here.
Yeah, another minute and a half. It didn't really have to use any ultimates except Capital's Kitsune Rush. Something that you're very happy if you're Undead Battery, you get to hold on to Poppy's EMP and hold it for this next fight, and maybe try to hold it for a little bit longer, so that way you can have either Star Platinum's Rampage or Charybdis's an Overclock to combo with it.
Yeah, and I gotta give a huge challenge to Charybdis, almost getting that Overclock in one fight. The EMP comes out, I believe, only hits 2 people there, but the Suzu from Sandy able to cleanse some of it right now. The Annihilation coming out, it's going to be countered there by that beat from Needle, as everyone trying to run away from the Ice Wall coming up might be able to stop him. However, Star Platinum right there, keeping this Annihilation up and going. Here comes the Overclock from Charybdis. They're looking for any heads they can. Not going to be able to find anyone. The Rampage comes out, finds 2 members of Trey going each way.
Yep, Slow finds Needle as they call me M is just stuck in the middle here trying to keep it alive. As Storm finds another one, but Poppy is able to let him fall, and now it's a 3v3 trying to get this last point as it fall to under 30 seconds.
Yeah, right now Undead Battery doing a good job keeping themselves alive here. Slow popping that dragon right now. It's on point in a very dangerous spot as the Super Rush comes out here from Sandy, trying to do anything they can to get rid of Star Platinum. But Star Platinum just will not die until then. Akua shuts them down, and now Undead Battery, at this point, you're trying to get anybody to the point.
Yeah, it's Slow finds 3, and now the only person up is Poppy, but they fall. They do TP out, but I don't think they're going to be able to get to that point again. And yeah, that was just a Slow show. Both times that it was the last second, you had Slow popping off, but now it's Meta Reject's time to attack and try to get it. It is winnable, especially now that they didn't cap it to all the way to the 3rd point.
Yeah, but honestly, you gotta give Undead Battery a lot of credit there for making it that far. I mean, I thought they were basically shut down in street phase. They almost completed the map off the back of some incredible plays, and it really comes off the back of a lot of swaps there at the end.
A lot of swaps, and also on the side of Meta Reject, sort of, I don't want to say tossing, but tossing. They call me M was killed at the very beginning, very far away, and they didn't have to use ultimates to be able to cap it. They really only used the Kitsune Rush, something that I don't feel like they really didn't even need to use. They just sort of popped it just to make sure they had the point captured.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, you're seeing Undead Battery Poppy coming out on the Ashe. They are definitely expecting the Pharmacy combo to come out again, and honestly, I would expect the same thing. Meta Rejects basically ran the entirety of Lijiang Tower and had it work, but right now, they're teasing us with a Life Weaver. I'm here for it if they stick with it, but I believe I just saw them swap to a Kiriko.
Yeah, they did swap to the Kiriko. I won't be surprised, because a lot of people use this to just try to get to that high ground, not waste abilities. Make sure you can see it as we see the Tracer come out too. It's going to be very interesting for the side of Medra to see where they go, especially if they keep the Shermacha from the side of They Call Me M.
I mean, I can see it. Ramatra does really work well here on this first point, and basically almost the entirety of this map. I feel like Ramatra is a very good tank. Slow on this Widowmaker, though. However, Akua just bullying Star Platinum there. Oh, that was kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, it really was. As now they're just getting point capture for free. They call me M is just blocking, saying you can't hit me. Gets purple though, so they have to back off. But yeah, it's gonna be meta rejects here, almost with the point capture.
Yeah, as I believe that's Akua finding someone there, but Meta Reject's already going to be able to cap the point here. Maybe off of one team fight. Undead Barrier, though, playing a little bit slow here. You see Star Platinum, 1 life on that Winston, going over to the Junker Queen. Capper, though, able to find slow, and that does stop point cap here.
Yeah, it does. As they call me, Emma is just trying to bully these supports and the Ashe in the background, but they're still getting the point as Star Platinum falls to Akua. Akua is just cleaning up everybody right now that's on the point.
Akua is just beating up Star Platinum in general here. They're really not allowing them to do much this round right now, but still, Undead Barrier doing a good job not allowing Meta Reject to cap the point at the moment. You're starting to see him fall out of that high ground, though. Poppy will lose the Ashe duel there to Slow, who gets off the Widowmaker, and Calm M just throwing some fists there into Needle. Make sure they're sending back to the spawn as they cap the first point.
Yeah, and now we see this sort of stagger fight for the side of Undead Battery, trying to die and make sure they don't get it staggered. But yeah, as we said, they're getting staggered as the pulse comes out, but I don't think it gets anybody.
It does not there, but Calm M able to find the other support there for Undead Battery, and Smugs able to shut down Charybdis, who swaps over to the Tracer here. Poppy also swapping off the Ashe, going to the Hanzo, and now you're seeing a lot of swaps kind of coming here from Undead Battery.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised as well if we see Needle swap off of the break onto the Lucio to try to get a little bit of speed boost, but now with the buffed rally, it's something that's very, very strong, especially in a sort of brawl-savvy comp.
Yeah, absolutely. Slow getting off of that, swapping over to the Hanzo here. I like the swap here for them, but you immediately start Platinum here trying to get in this backline. I don't know if this is the right play for them, but they do have some help.
Yeah, they decide to flip the map on them, and they're trying to find one, and they do. Akua finds Poppy, but Slow finds his counterpart, and now the Nano comes out for the side, if they call me M, as he tumbles Charybdis, and now it's just Star Platinum's just like, I'm out of here, I'm running away.
Running, yelling, screaming for their life, and they are able to get themselves out, but Needle and Capital, again, that support line there, not able to get out on their own. Capital, just responding with the, okay.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what to do. As Star Platinum gets staggered, and that could be point cap for the side of Meta Rejects, especially if Undead Battery doesn't want to fight without their tank.
I mean, we have seen them commit to fights without their tank, but with how much time they're going to have here left, I think you allow them to cap the point and just try to hold for over 5 minutes here.
Yeah, but it looks like Charybdis does try to touch, and it looks like they're going to try to contest it here.
And we're going to the rally. Invest here as Sandy uses the Katsuni rush here. But Undead Battery coming back into the Annihilation, though, is popped. Akua does find one. The pulse ball. Poppy immediately traces out there on the Slow. And we do see Column M find one. Akua will find a second one here. Now they're just trying to clean up the rest of the stragglers here for Undead Battery. They're going to be able to with a team kill and cap point B.
And cap it with just, I believe that's just under 4 minutes left, or over 4 minutes left, excuse me, to be able to cap this third point, which again, it's not all the way. It's at the very end, but it's not all the way. As we see Undead Battery, more swaps come in. Star Platinum decides, I'm done with the Joker Queen. I'm going to switch back over to the, I'm going to switch to the Ramatra now. And we see Needle switch over to the Lucio.
4 minutes is a lot of time here, but it's not impossible. Undead Barrier needs to show us something here. They need to win one team fight as the Dragons come out here from Slow. Does not do a lot of damage, but does split up Undead Barrier. However, we do see Poppy take care of Akua there, and that will force the Meta Rejects the ball back.
Yeah, it really will, especially with how powerful Akua has been. As they switch to the Genji, we get to see the Sarmata brothers on the side of Meta Rejects.
A new dawn for you.
Hey, you like to see it. But right now, I mean, Undead Battery finally a team by here. The Katsuni Rush coming out here for them, and the Nano coming out here on the Column M. Akua able to find Poppy out here early. Column M just trying to pummel anyone they can find, and Meta Rejects winning this fight here at the moment. 3 already down. Make it 4, make it 5 as Akua pops off with 4 kills.
Akua gets the ace, I believe, there. I think he got all 5.
I believe you're right.
I believe, and yeah, he's already almost 70% to his blades, something that could be turning full, especially with Undead Battery not being all that close to the beat for themselves.
Absolutely. Here here. Akua, though, almost looks like they almost fall off the map there. The Casino Rush now coming out here for Meta Rejects. They want to end this map, and they want to do it now. Already 2 kills going their way. The Annihilation coming up from Star Platinum has to be huge to keep Undead Battery's hopes alive with when Capital finds 1. But now the Annihilation for Comment finds 2. They're looking to find the 3rd here and seal the deal, and that's exactly what it's going to do.
Yeah, exactly what they're going to do. Needle is able to touch, but falls to M. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's M's Annihilation. It's too powerful. Akua on the Genji being able to clean up a lot of kills. And now Meta Rejects goes up 2-0 over Undead Battery.
And this was not as close of a map as it was in map 1. Meta Rejects definitely showed their prowess here on this map and, you know, made all the comps they played look incredibly well and work incredibly well.
Yeah, they really do. As we see Slow popping off and getting that 4 clay, making sure they do not cap second point as they do later. But yeah, like you said, Meta Rejects look super strong on that map. They look like that they, even though I believe it was Undead Battery's map choice, it looked like that they were like, hey, guess what? We can play this map. We play this map a lot.
Yeah, I always question why people pick King's Row a lot, because everyone picks King's Row. You always practice King's Row. Bring us a map that, you know, not a lot of people practice, but again, you know, you pick the map because you feel 100% confident that you're gonna win it. And hey, Meta Rejects able to win the map pick there for Undead Battery. And now Undead Battery gonna be picking the map here again. Gonna have to try to play something that, or pick a map that plays into their play style here.
Yeah, and like you said too, I feel like also if you do pick King's Row, you need to be 100%. There's no 99% because the other team is 100% on it. It's going to be rough, and I feel like now if you're Undead Battery, you got to pick a map that I feel like you can play but the other team can't. But what we've seen so far is Meta Rejects have been able to play everything. They played the Pharah Ball, they played the Brawl really well. They can play the Winston. I feel like if you go to a map, especially on Escort, I believe it is, you got to pick something that I feel like has a little bit of pokes, maybe it, and especially with Escort having a lot of those sort of high poke double sniper comps, I think this could lean toward Undead Battery, but it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. And like you said, you know, we've seen Meta Rejects play a lot of stuff, but I feel like Undead Battery, where they kind of shined on Lijiang Tower was when they brought out that Winston there, especially point 2. Especially on point 2, that Winston comp they came out with worked very well for them once they got control of the point, and they never really let it go after that. And we haven't seen that Winston come back out. Just a quick reminder, I know at the start of this stream I did say it was a first to 3. I'm dead wrong. It's a first to 4. So Meta Rejects not on series point right now. One map though away from being on series point. But Karma, we do know where we're going next. Do you want to tell us where we're going?
We're going to Circuit Royale, something that is always very fun, but always very stagnant to watch. We always see the double sniper Sigma comp come out. I feel like this is one of those maps, especially once Overwatch 2 came out, has been very, very favorable by a lot of teams, especially with how long these sightlines are, how rough it is. And of course, it's Monaco, baby. Gotta make that money.
Gotta make that money in Monaco. I think they have the highest GDP per capita in the world there. But I mean, yeah, like you said, the double sniper comp here is definitely very favorable in a lot of different playstyles as well. You like to see this be pretty much a poke map on the first point, and then as you get through the map, maybe you start to see it turn into a little bit of a brawl, but you still see that double sniper comp there, or at least one sniper, and it tends to normally be Widowmaker.
Yeah, and especially too with Widowmaker's nerf, she's a lot or difficult to play in this map, especially since those long sightlines, you don't get that one-shot capabilities unless you're running a Mercy with it. So a lot of teams have been starting to favor that Ashe, getting that burn damage over the shield, as well as something to clean it up, like the Hanzo, something that we've seen both these teams play so far, especially in King's Row.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, this is kind of what I think as a poke map, and I don't think we've seen a Sigma here yet. And honestly, when I hear poke, I hear Sigma comps.
Yeah, Sigma is one of those comps, especially starting in Overwatch 2. When he released in Overwatch 1, he was a world beater, and then he sort of got not nerfed throughout the rest of his time in Overwatch 1, and now especially in Overwatch 2, with there only being one tank, he is starting to become that world beater again. He's very strong on a lot of different maps, especially if he's played right.
Yeah, absolutely here. But this is a map that the Undead Battery needs here. They desperately need to win if they want to keep themselves alive here. Yeah, it's not the end of the series if Meta Rejects wins here, but it becomes a lot harder for Undead Battery if Meta Rejects does win.
Yeah, as we see sort of the standard comp come out from both sides, with only one different change. Tribus is on the Sojourn instead of the Hanzo, but Slow gets that opening pick onto Capital Zenyatta.
Yeah, that will kind of slow down Undead Battery here right now, unless they're able to find this next pick here.
As what they do, yeah, the tank falls. That's one thing too. That as soon as the tank falls, that's the go button. As soon as he falls, you gotta go into their face and gain all the space that you can.
Yeah, and Slow able to back themselves out of it. That is a good play coming out for them. They still do have a couple good sight lines here.
Yeah, and there is a swap. It looks like they came out. Your favorite player, Tangent Line, is on for Meta Rejects instead of, I can't remember.
Column M. Cool. Able to find Poppy there though. And again, even with Meta Rejects here, finding picks are allowing Undead Battery to push, but that's pretty normal for a Circle Royale. You want them to kind of push far because you have a couple good corners to play around.
Yeah, you have some pretty good corners to play around, as well as all this hard cover, something that's very prominent in Overwatch 2, with, again, there only being one thing. But Akua does find Charybdis their main source of damage on the side of Undead Battery.
Yeah, especially since Poppy's struggling to land any shots here at the moment. And Tangerine able to juke out that boulder right there. Good play coming out from them. Undead Battery backing up here, but look at Star Platinum. They do have the flux ready to go. They're gonna use it right now, and they only hit Tangerine, but it works out for them. However, in the end, Akua and Slow picking up some kills here on the support line.
Yeah, but it's even. Both teams lost 2 players, but on the side of Undead Battery, Star Platinum is still up, and that's the one thing that you want, but I don't think they have a single support up.
Visor coming out here from Slow. Star Platinum able to find Akua there. And Undead Battery gonna be able to cap this first point. They do lose their members there, but at the end of the day, you cap that first point, you got yourself some more time.
Yeah, but Poppy dies at the very end. But hey, at least they were able to get that point, making sure that they can get it. But yeah, like you said, but Meta Rejects having that ult advantage with 2 ultimates online to Undead Batteries, I don't think they only really have that the amplification matrix, which is something that is sort of useless on this map, especially with this high ground point on point 2.
Yeah, but Charybdis will have this. Charybdis will have the overclock ready to go as well, so that could be scary right now if they're able to combo those up. It looks like the damage is coming out from both sides as the flux here coming out from Tangent Line does catch a couple. Not able to find any kills initially, but they do find some kills after it. Make it 2 kills for them while they look for the third here. And oh, I think Star Platinum is in a very bad situation.
Yeah, they are, especially with them being the tank there, but they do fall not too far, but oh, that's rough. Capital falls as well, so he's not that much staggered. But yeah, Undead Battery they now have the ult advantage, and it's going to be rough, especially with this second corner being something that has struggled a lot of teams, especially in the history of Overwatch 2 so far.
Yeah, and you have to expect maybe Undead Battery needs to make some swaps here, but they are coming up on a whole set of ultimates here. And the flux that Star Platinum used to initiate the last fight that won them that first point was huge for them. It needs to be huge for them here again.
Yeah, as we see Poppy popping the walls, trying to get a pick, and is unable to. But Star Platinum falls to half HP, and it's just going to be Meta Rejects falling back a little bit, taking a little bit of space as Tribus decides to pop the overclock to try to get one.
They do find one there, and it is on the Tangent Line. A huge pickoff there for Undead Battery, but Slow able to find Capital. However, straight out there onto Slow. Smugs able to shut down Charybdis. The Dragon coming out from, I believe, Akua does not find anyone, but Akua themselves finds a kill with just their arrows.
Yeah, just their arrows, as we see just the rest of Undead Battery just falling. Star Platinum, the last one to fall, as we're seeing swaps come out. Charybdis decide to switch who's playing what. Poppy goes over to the Hanzo, and Charybdis is now on the Widowmaker instead.
You know, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out for them, but they definitely think that this is the right play for them right now.
Yeah, and I really like it too. Hanzo is very, very strong, and they were popping beforehand. So now it's just Charybdis' time to try to get some heads, as it looks like they're not able to do so.
We do see Charybdis there actually find slow, so that swap they're already kind of working out, but Tangerine picking up right where they left off in the last team fight, able to shut down Star Platinum, and Undead Battery without that shield is not necessarily in the best position right now.
Yeah, they really are. Tangerine being able to find a few more as the rest of Undead Battery falls, but now it's very even for the ultimate economy. But Undead Battery have both support ults and their tank as they try to as Meta Rejects is trying to go a little bit aggressive and try to get one more. But Meta Rejects, they have almost every single one of their ultimates. Their farthest is Tangent, he's at 76%.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Star Platinum has the flux, but Sandy having that Transcendence pretty much cancels anything out that happened from that flux right now. The visor's being used here by, I believe, the Meta Rejects as the damage boost comes out from them as well, trying to pump in as much damage as they possibly can. Here comes the flux, but like I said, immediately we canceled out there by that Transcendence. Will not find anything. The Transcendence is actually coming out from both sides, but slow, able to find the head there of the Charybdis to make sure they're dead.
Yeah, they are dead as the Amplification Matrix comes out as well for the side of Undead Battery, but Slow is able to find one more onto Poppy, and Tangent Line is able to lift some people up in the air, gets one into Star Platinum, and it looks like it's going to be Meta Rejects being able to hold this again, even though Undead Battery had to use every single one of their ultimates.
Yeah, they used every single one of their ultimates, but like I was kind of mentioning, Meta Rejects pretty much had to counter to all their ultimates right there. Capitol able to find Sandy, Poppy able to find, I believe that was Akua there, might lead to something, however. Actually, wow, Capital doing a lot of work on the Zenyatta. However, when a tank goes up against the support, it's always a losing battle.
Yeah, but now Tangent Line falls due to Star Platinum's accretion, and hey, they got 3 seconds and they're able to touch it and move it a little bit, especially with Meta Rejects. The only ultimate that they have is Akua's Dragon Strike.
And Poppy has the dragons as well. That's the only thing they have ready, but here they come from Poppy. Definitely gonna try to give them a little bit more space here, and here they finally come. That's actually a very good spot for that Dragon Strike right there. The accretion will hit that one person over there, and you do see Star Platinum here try to stop as much damage as they can as the dragons do come out from Akua. Not finding anyone in Capital, finding Slow here, and Undead Battery had to give a lot of credit. They always come alive at the end of every round for them, it seems.
Yeah, they strive on the chaos, and this is pure chaos, pure pandemonium right here for Undead Battery.
Pandemonium, but the ball goes down, so does the Baptiste right there. And Undead Battery looking like they have come alive yet again here.
Yeah, they really have. Needle is able to find one. Capital is able to clean up Slow, making sure they can get it with those last swaps. And Needle and Capital switching it up, trying to maybe going to a different comp style. But Meta Rejects, they're keeping it the same. The only thing that swapped is Slow onto the Tracer. But hey, they're back onto it. And yes, I know you hit that wall, Poppy.
Good shot, Poppy, and take it from me, someone who can't aim. That's a very good shot there. But Charybdis does have these visors ready to go. Look at Undead Battery. They're actually coming into this little push here with a lot of stuff to play with here. And they need to try to play it smart here, but these damage matrix coming out here early. And oh, the damage matrix is huge. It's deadly. Finds 2 already and forces Undead Battery to basically kind of regroup by the card.
Yeah, and that's one of the best ways to use that amplification matrix, especially since a lot of the teams, especially on attack, try to take that high ground advantage early. And if you have that amplification matrix, it makes it so that they have to stop and go back to main, especially now that Undead Battery has 30 seconds left.
And Star Platinum diving down, not going to have any support there. Falls to Tangent Line. The Tangent Line now showing themselves out here. Finds 2 kills. Charybdis will find Smugs, but the damage already done here. Undead Battery falling back as they're going to make a last-second push here.
Yeah, they have less than 20 seconds left, but Undead Battery have every single ultimate except for Charybdis's Pulse Bomb, which they just switched to try to be able to touch.
And you do see Tangerine maybe trying to stop him, decides to play it a little bit smart, fall back. The continued rush going to start everything here. Here comes the Dragons from Poppy. Oh, it's in a good spot there to divide everyone up. Now the Flux coming out from Star Platinum. Really nothing other than that beat to counter it. Will keep everyone alive. Star Platinum does have their Flux as well. They can use it whenever they want. And Undead Battery actually getting some free push here right now. And oh, they capture that Baptiste there. The Immortality Field gonna come out to keep them alive here. A huge play coming out there from Smugs. Dragons now coming out from Akua. Will not find anyone, but again, and they do find Charybdis. However, the Dragons come very late, do find one. And Undead Battery gets stopped right before the end of the map. Again, a lot like King's Row.
Yeah, a lot like King's Row, and like King's Row as well, the Hanzo started popping. Akua just being able to get 3, I believe, before they were able to get the point. Star Platinum was just a little bit too far ahead, wasn't on the point, so that way they couldn't touch. But now again, Meta Rejects, they only have to push it not the entire way, but pretty close to the end.
Yeah, I mean, but Meta Rejects, I mean, they did a great job on that second point defense here, and all they really have to do is just do a little bit better on their push on that second point. If they get to that point, Undead Battery, I mean, they could come out here and completely stonewall them on this first point.
Yeah, they really can. And one thing, too, that Undead Battery has been doing really good with is the chaos. Something that I think we've seen a bit, especially throughout all 3 maps so far, is how strong they've strived on the chaos. But hey, they're going to keep the same comp going on. Poppy onto the Hanzo, Tribus onto the Widow, and then, of course, Star Platinum, Capital, and Needle on their respective flanks. The only thing that we see change is Meta Rejects. Akua is on the Junkrat, which, I mean, hey, if they want to, they can jump over the roof on that right-hand side, something that they could look like they could be trying to do.
I don't think they're looking like they're going to try to do it. I think they're going to try to do it here. Or they're not even going to try. They're going to do it here right now. And they're going to try to catch everyone off guard here. Charybdis is actually in a good spot right now, but I don't think they're ready for it.
No, I don't think they are, as Tangent Line is trying to get this point and try to get the space up.
Yeah, they are taking some space here. Slow, though, again, able to find the first pick off here. Able to find the first 2. A Deadeye right now on that sniper. The only person able to shut them down is Capital, who's proven to be a Deadeye themselves.
Yeah, Capital being a Deadeye, being able to hit heads almost every single map so far, as we see Star Platinum getting pressured out, trying to back out to his team and stay alive.
Immortality has to be used to keep them alive, but hey, it does its job, keeps them alive, but Meta Rejects will just continue to push this cart right now.
Yeah, be able to just keep pushing it up, and Tangent Line falls very, very low, and it's going to be rough, and they fall to Charybdis, who swapped over to the Sojourner off of the Widow.
And honestly, I like the swap there for them. I feel like the Sojourner has a little bit more kind of just play with it. Like Widowmaker, you have the Venom Mine, that's about it. With Sojourner, you have the Disrupting Shot, and I feel like that does a lot more than the Venom Mine does.
Yeah, you really do. As we see Akua still on the Junkrat, trying to get some value off of it, as about 50% to their tire, something that could be fairly useful, especially if you combo it before Star Platinum has to use the Flux, so that way the lamp is out as they get a downtown Kobe shot onto Needle, and it's all blue in the kill feed.
Yeah, off those kills right there, especially losing Needle early. Remember, you lose that Baptiste, you lose that Immortality field, you lose the quick healing, and you lose a lot of healing, especially when the other healer is in Yada. You really want to keep that Baptiste alive. Losing them first is the last thing you want to see, and off all that right there, Meta Reject's going to be able to cap this first point and give themselves about 4 minutes here.
Yeah, give themselves about 4 minutes, but on the side of Undead Battery, they do have a few ultimates up. Star Platinum has the Flux, as well as Needle being close to the Amplification Matrix getting it. But Tangent Line does fall onto Star Platinum, so that's basically the space that they're trying to take, given up immediately for Undead Battery.
Poppy trying to land some shots there on the Slow, finally getting healed up there. Hey, they're finally able to take care of Slow with a Deadeye shot of their own, an arrow through the skull.
Yeah, arrow through the skull, but Meta Rejects have, I believe both teams almost have every single ultimate, but it looks like going too far as Capital falls and the lamp comes out, so now it's a free ultimate fest for the side of Meta Rejects.
Yeah, but looks like Meta Rejects gonna hold on to it. The only ultimate they're using here are the visors. The damage is coming out from Smugs on that high ground. Here comes the Flux from Star Platinum, and no Transcendence to try to stop it. All that damage coming through. Charybdis gonna be able to find 2. Slow will find Poppy, though, to try to keep Meta Rejects in this one, but Undead Battery in a good spot at the moment.
Yeah, Undead Battery in a very good spot. If Akua doesn't keep on popping, but he has to turn around to deal with all of them as the entirety of Meta Rejects fall. Undead Battery only had to use 1 ultimate there, whereas, I mean, I guess on the side of Meta Rejects, they did only use 1 ultimate as well, but Slow did use the windows, or the walls a little bit early to try to figure out where everybody was headed.
Yeah, but still, Akua holding on to this tire is going to be a big thing. They're probably waiting for Capital to either use that Transcendence or maybe Needle to use their Immortality field. But here comes the Flux from Tangent Line there. Will not be able to find anyone in it or after it as well. Now the damage is also coming out from Needle. Here comes the tire from Akua. They're going to let it sit there for a little bit. The Dragon's coming out from Poppy. Oh, Charybdis shuts down the tire. Nothing coming from it there.
Yeah, nothing coming in. Something is very rough to get value with as Akua finds Poppy with the concussion mine, something that he's been getting a lot of kills with as the overclock comes out for the side of Undead Battery.
Yeah, but it's immediately counted out here by the Transcendence from Sandy. Capital will pop their own Transcendence as well. Undead Battery feeling that they can win this team fight here, but they lose Needle early. Again, you do not want to see that happen, especially when your other healer is a Zenyatta.
Yeah, and especially too, Capital just popped the Transcendence, so they're not going to get that healing up. All they have is that healing orb, something that's going to be very difficult, especially with the side of Undead Battery being, all of them being low except for Needle, who's just coming back from spawn.
Yeah, Needle will be able to get back into this team fight here right now. Here comes the Flux from Star Platinum. Does cap a couple here. No Transcendence to try to stay him out here, but the Immortality Field comes out and gone for both sides. Akua, though, coming alive, finds one, make it two. They're looking for more. Charybdis will find one. Sandy, though, finds Charybdis there, and Needle falls as well. Just Star Platinum by themselves against the entirety of the Meta Rejects. And that's not a winning fight there.
Yeah, as Akua uses the tire, I guess, to try to just flex on them. If he finds one.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
my God. No, you can't do that.
No.
Like, at least he's swapping. What is he swapping to? He's swapping to the Genji. And Needle dies now. What's going on?
Needle dies essentially first in a team fight here. Yeah, they're already down one, but again, you cannot lose Needle early. Needle needs to stop poking their head out.
Yeah, they really do, as Meta Rejects are trying to just set up to try to push the point, especially with them basically being... What is going on? Akua finds Capital now, and Akua's just a one-man army as Poppy falls as well. Two people on the side of Undead Battery are down.
Right now, Star Platinum getting incredibly low as well. They're going to fall by the hands of Akua as well. The Flux coming out will not find anyone there, but in the end, it doesn't matter as Charybdis dies. So does Capital as they come back out. Needle uses the damage base here. Really only going to benefit themselves, and I believe Poppy. Poppy falls, Needle falls, and now Meta Rejects trying to just get rid of Star Platinum, who comes back out on the Doomfist. They take care of them, and Meta Rejects now one win away from being crowned champions.
Yeah, and they look strong doing it. They did have a little bit of a rough time against Undead Battery, especially when Undead Battery was attacking. But so far, this has got to be my MVP. Akua has just been popping off, being the one-man show, it seems like, for the side of Meta Rejects, and popping off when the team needs it most.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of times throughout this game and series so far, Akua has just been everywhere for their team, picking up kill after kill, being in the right place, right time. But honestly, the only thing that I could really point out there for Undead Battery on that last map was Needle needs to stop being the first person to die.
Yeah, it looked like that Meta Rejects just had a big target on Needle's head, just making sure, hey, that's the person that's been peeking their head out just a little bit too far and making sure they die first, especially against that. I don't even want to say double sniper because they were playing Junkrat for the first half against the Widowmaker. You can't really do it, especially with Akua being there, just lobbing concussion mines in the backline, lobbing his nades, lobbing everything just behind you. You can't be peeking your head out, especially with Widowmaker there, just being able to pop heads right away, especially with how slow has been playing.
Yeah, Akua was just playing Modern Warfare 2 again with one-man army, firing grenades and throwing grenades as much as they could throughout the first 2 points of that. Thank you for laughing. That was probably a terrible joke. But honestly, I mean, there were points where, again, this map, points where Undead Battery looked really well. It just seemed like Meta Rejects was able to kind of see what they were doing, lose one team fight, maybe lose the second one, but then come right back in and basically shut them down.
Yeah, and I feel like my statement before still stands strong, was Undead Battery was striving on chaos. They were doing really well on their attacking halves with playing with the chaos, making sure like, hey, we can play our game. And then when it's a little bit structured, were doing well, especially on that defense side, making sure like, hey, we can hold them to as far as we can. And then as soon as Meta Rejects was able to punch them in the face and just sort of was able to turn it around, then Undead Battery just sort of faltered and sort of fell apart. We saw it at that last third point. I don't think they got a single full-on team fight in it. It was just somebody died at the very beginning, and then somebody else, and then one person died, and then they had to wait more. And at the end of the time, they're like, oh, it's at that final corner. We got to fight, and then they just had to, and then at the end of the day, they just ended up falling one by one.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being the end of Map 3, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with Map 4 of this finals.
Smash that. Smash that.
All right, welcome back everyone to the Ascension Draft Tournament Grand Finals. Meta Rejects dominating so far here, 3-0 on series point right now. Undead Barry, though, Carmer, like we have talked about, has shown signs of life throughout all three maps so far. Just haven't been able to put one full map together yet.
Yeah, they really have. They look strong at certain points. They strive on the chaos, it seems like. But yeah, like you said, they haven't been able to put on a full-fledged map so far. They've been pretty good on defense. They've been really good on defense at points. They've been okay on attack. They just look rough every once in a while. Just as soon as that chaos hits, they're either really, really good and striving in it, or they're faltering nonstop.
Yeah, absolutely here. But I believe our fourth map type of the night will be Push. And in my opinion, Push can be kind of chaotic, which might play into Undead Battery's, strategy here. And Undead Battery, they've made it this far. I feel like they can kind of surprise us here. And you have said in the past that Meta Rejects and some team fights just seem like they have thrown a little bit. They're up 3-0 here. I'm not saying I'm expecting them to maybe play stuff that isn't like meta, hence the name. But, this is a team that has been very good all night on anything they have played. So I would not be surprised if they come out with something completely off the meta.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. And really, when it seems like they've thrown is they've just gone too aggressive. They're disrespecting their opponent in Undead, and Undead has been able to take that and flip it on its head. Especially, the one point that I can really think of is point 2 on King's Row. We saw Meta Rejects go super far. We saw M go super far, die first. Poppy was set up for an EMP. They didn't even have to use it. They only used a Kitsune Rush, something that I still feel like they didn't really need to use. They just used it to clean up, which is one of the stronger ultimates in the game. And they were able to use both. They were able to keep that EMP for that next fight, which again they weren't able to really. I believe they weren't able to fully fight. They weren't able to fully utilize it in the fight. But at the end of the day, they were very close to capping point 3 on King's Row, and then Meta Rejects just turned around and then just dumped them on attack. But we don't talk about that.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about that here. But we do know what our 4th and potentially final map of the night will be. Karma, pack your bags. We're going to Spain.
Yeah, we're going to Spain. One of the most, well, I have to say honestly, even though the push maps don't get all the most as we get corrected by CBF in the background, we're headed to Portugal, not Spain. So I don't know.
Geography is hard.
Geography is very, very difficult, but hey, like I was gonna say, it's still one of the most beautiful maps. I think all the push maps are very beautiful, except Queen Street, because Canada is just bland. That's all I can say about it.
Hey, Overwatch League Grand Finals happening.
Yeah, let's go. You know what's funny? I want to go to it, but I don't have my passport, so.
Dude, I have to get my passport.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's gonna be rough. I think you have to like apply for it like now, and you're gonna maybe get it.
Appointment 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
getting ready for the Grand Finals.
Hey, Grand Finals talking, New Queen Street talk out the window. Esperanza here. Portugal. Okay, so we're heading to Portugal here, heading to Esperanza. And, again, with push, I feel like you can still kind of play a lot of different comps. However, I feel like there's always one that kind of leads the way. And I feel like it kind of gravitates towards Brawl, but with how strong some characters are right now, Dive is actually the one right now that's kind of strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, and especially too with Esperanza, having those 2 very high grounds on each side of that first push point, it leads to a lot more of that dive sort of centric, the Winston comps, just so that way you can deal with the people that are sitting on high ground. I think if we were headed to Coliseo or New Queen Street, we would see that Ryan Ramacha come up, but I think especially on it being Esperanza, sort of the weird third child out of the push maps, it's something that comes to a little bit of a different style that we can see out of both these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. But, as we head into it here shortly, again, Meta Rejects, 1 map win away from winning the Grand Finals here. Undead Batteries need to win a map here to, prolong the series here, start that reverse sweep. So you have to expect that they're going to come out here ready to play on a comp they feel 100% confident about. And we're going to see what that comp is here. And it's Dive, and it looks like Poppy and Capital here have swapped roles.
Yeah, it looks like they have. Poppy is on the on and out is on the support now instead of DPS, whereas Capital is going to try to flex their muscles a little bit, go to the DPS, something that we saw. I don't think we've seen it yet, but something that they've been proven that they can do, especially on that support role, being able to pop heads on the Kiriko, on the Zenyatta. But on the side of Meta Rejects, they are playing the I don't know what to call this, the machine gun comp, the Orisa, Bastion, Junkrat, Lifeweaver, and Moira. If they go for that, oh god, if they go for that Lifeweaver tech, I'm going to cry laughing.
Oh, here we go. Akua going up there early, and you immediately see the dive come out there, and it does knock Akua off, so this turn mode not necessarily going to find a lot of damage. Let's Star Platinum falls right down in front of them there. Yeah,
as we do, Star Platinum has to come back to get full health, and Undead Battery is able to get to the point first and able to touch it, whereas Meta Rejects, the best. I feel like if you want to play this comp, you got to play as like a group of 5, and it's going to be very difficult for Star Platinum to be able to dive onto Meta Rejects.
Yeah, but right now Capital, I was going to say, it actually has a good pick here with this Sombra, but they get the hack off there onto Akua, but immediately get shut down there by Slow.
Yeah, Slow is able to follow him as the Star Platinum is just getting bullied by the Junkrat, but Akua is able to find Charybdis onto the Tracer, and now it's Meta Rejects with control of the bot and trying to get this base gain.
Solomon picks up 2 there. It's the support line there for Undead Battery. And now Star Platinum trying to get out of this one. Not going to be able to escape the small room there. Capital does get the hack there onto Slow, but still Slow through that hack, able to find Charybdis.
Yeah, and that's the one good thing about Lifeweaver is you're able to pull your teammates. I forgot about that word for a second. From danger, which is rough, but so we see a swap already from the side of Undead Battery. Star Platinum is off of the Winston onto the D.Va, something that I feel like is going to help a lot better, especially against this Bastion on the side of Akua.
Yeah, you see Capital definitely trying to hack someone. They're going to hack the Orisa there, but they get life grafts out of that, so a good play there coming out for the meta rejects right now, as we do see Column M trying to just take care of Star Platinum there. They eventually do fall back, able to stay alive. Grievous though finding Slow, who has by far been the biggest dealer of damage right now for meta rejects.
Yeah, it really has. As the Nano comes out, but Capital is able to find one more, and the Tree of Life comes out, but it get EMP'd away. Capital is able to find one, and it's all right in the kill feed for Undead Battery. And they were also able to stop Meta Rejects' push right before the checkpoint. So now they have a chance to gain the lead here.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like what Undead Battery, especially Charybdis, was doing there. They're kind of playing up forward a little bit. Try to stop Meta Rejects before they really, come back out here. I feel like that's what they should be doing, but they're gonna allow Meta Rejects to come back out. Actually, here comes the artillery mode here from Akua, and they're focusing again on the supports, because that's what they love to do. However, not gonna be able to find anyone there that time. The sleep does come out there on the column, but they get woken up as the Coalescence comes out here from Sandy, trying to keep Column M alive here, but they're purple. The life grab's gonna come in though to keep them alive. A good life grabs again there by Slug.
Yeah, very good there to being able to use it, but almost every single one of Meta Rejects' ults have been used, but Column M still falls. Needle is in the middle of the rally trying to save everyone alive, and I don't think they'll be able to touch it as Undead Battery is able to get this first checkpoint.
Yeah, Undead Battery, like you said, they won a very key team fight before the last team fight, stopping Meta Rejects before they got to that forward spawn point. And now, 2 team fights later, Undead Battery gets those forward spawns and is able to continue this push. And Star Platinum does have this bomb here. They're going to probably use it as a remeching tool, but I do like what they're doing here, forcing Akua off that high ground. Another life grab's coming out by them there to keep them alive.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about it, is you're able to pull your teammates away from damage. As Charybdis finds Slow as he goes a little bit aggressive, but again, it's all red in the kill feed, and this is the type where you got to think, is it going to be Undead Battery's time to shine as the Tree of Life comes up from the side of Red Redux?
Bomb comes out though, finds 2, and Undead Battery is looking like a well-oiled machine so far here.
Yeah, they really are. As we see swaps come out for the side of Meta Rejects, they're finally going back to the meta. A full comp swap going to the D.Va dive comp to try to deal with Undead Battery with just about under 6 minutes to go, or just over 6 minutes to go.
I mean, a lot of time for Meta Rejects here to get back into this one, but they need to stop Undead Battery. And like you said, a lot of swaps coming out for them now. And it looks like they're going to a more, kind of a standard comp that we see. EMP does come out from Capital there. I believe only hits one person, but immediately that one person melted off the face of the earth. Smugs able to shut down Needle again. And will we see the same thing happen like we saw last time, but no Capital coming in clutch here, picking up 2 big kills to keep Undead Battery pushing the spot.
Yeah, making sure they stay alive as the side of Meta Rejects, both their supports are still alive in this backline, and they're able to stay alive throughout all the punishment that they were able to go to. But on the side of Smudge does fall, and now it's all up to Slow, up to break here to try to stay everybody alive. But Slow finds 3 and is able to turn the fight for the side of Meta Rejects.
Yeah, Slow coming out on the Widowmaker, able to do a lot of damage. You're immediately going to see him swap off. They did the job they needed to. Swapping back over to the Sombra really worked out well for them there. But Undead Battery still going to be able to get all these forward spawns. And honestly, you might see a little bit of a recontest here way before the spawn reset point.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too that you really want to do if you're on the side of Undead Battery, making sure that you keep those forward spawns just for a little bit, just so that way they don't go away right away.
Oh, Slow trying to get the hack there on the Charybdis. Gets noticed and gets out of there right now. Rally's coming out from both sides right now. Neither side necessarily winning, but both sides still very much alive here. However, Star Platinum gonna get demeched here. Has to use their bomb as a remeching tool here. Gonna be able to do just that, but Capital finding Slow here is a great pick for Undead Battery, because that bot is right before the reset point there. The sleep there on the Column M is huge, though, as well as they are primal raging.
Yeah, the EMP comes out too for the side of Capital, but is only able to find 1, and it looks like it's still going to be all red in the kill feed as they take control of the bot, and they never lost those forward spawns as well.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Undead Battery, you just want to be able to push that cart back all the way forward as far as you can, so you get those forward spawns, are able to recontest another team fight before the spawn resets.
Yeah, and especially too with Akua falling that late they're gonna be able to fight this right around this final corner here. Something that Meta Rejects don't really want to do. It's gonna give them a lot of space to try to deal with.
The hack, they're coming out on the Star Platinum right now. Charybdis is very low, and Column M kind of focusing down there on Needle, who's playing very aggressive because they are playing that Brigida right there. But now they're just trying to find anyone they can, and Column M will find the Brigida there. But the Nano coming out here on the Star Platinum. They do have a bomb here ready to go if they need a rematch, but Star Platinum Charybdis finding a couple kills here to keep the bot going their direction, and they're very much in the home stretch here.
Yeah, they very much are. As Meta Rejects, they only really have the 2 DPS ults, whereas instead of Undead Battery, they have 1 DPS ult and Star Platinum's bomb, something that's going to be good to either remech or find kills like we saw before.
Slow does have this EMP ready. They do hack Star Platinum there, while Star Platinum desperately looking around to see where that hack is coming from. They're going to get demech'd here, but they're trying to find a spot where they can drop their bomb. They drop their bomb on the high ground, not going to be able to find anyone. Capital does find Slow. The rally coming out from Needle. Capital finds a second one there. The third is a pulse bomb kill by Charybdis. Undead Battery coming alive right now at a time they desperately need to keep this series alive. It's going to be up to Akua to try to touch, but the hack coming out there and Star Platinum taking it down. The EMP coming out finds 4, but it doesn't matter. Undead Battery still picking up the kills they need right now. Meta Rejects trying to come back up, but another EMP coming out there from Capital hits the 2 members of Meta Rejects that were right there.
Yeah, but it's all right in the kill feed as Undead Battery be able to take this in dominant fashion. Something that we saw a little bit before that we were talking about heading into this game. Is Meta Rejects going to throw? Are they going to troll? And it looks like they were going to, and it looks like they did, especially heading into this game, even though Undead Battery, there's no slouch about it. They look dominant, and I think they finally found their comp, and they finally found the momentum heading into this next map and heading into maybe a reverse sweep.
Yeah, absolutely there. But hey, Capital, I mean, no, that was Capital getting play of the game there. Honestly, that's my favorite play of the game intro there, the hack one from Sombra. But, you know, that Sombra was just such a huge pick for them. And like you kind of said, Meta Rejects probably trolling a little bit there at the start of it. While it did really work out for them, I think that whole turning point came at a fight that you talked about. Undead Battery able to completely stop Meta Rejects before they got those forward spawns. And after that, Undead Battery never looked back. Hell, the closest they really ever let the bot get back to that center point was only about 5 or 10 meters away.
Yeah, and it really was, and especially when you fight before getting that forward spawn too. If you do have somebody that falls and ends up dying, they're very close. That spawn point, even though it is a forward spawn, it's right there. It's right around the corner, basically, from that bot, from that team fight. And with them being able to do it, it was very good for Undead Battery being able to notice it and take that fight early. One thing though, for the side of Meta Rejects is, are they not giving them? Are they playing with their food? I'll go with that analogy. That's probably the best analogy I could think of, because especially heading out with that comp, it's something it doesn't work all that much, and especially it's very weird. There's not something that you can really do. There's not really a lot of pros and cons. There's a lot of cons, but not a lot of pros. And it might be Meta Rejects being like, okay, we don't really care anymore.
I mean, it might have definitely been something where they were playing with their food there a little bit, but then you saw them swap 6 minutes. You even talked about it there. 4 minutes into the map, 6 minutes left to go. They swapped over to what was basically a very competitive comp, but basically Undead Battery shut them down there. They really were not able to build anything there. And yeah, you could talk about Undead Battery was able to hold on to a lot of ultimates there and get a lot of success off of that. But we saw a couple good ultimates come out from Meta Rejects after all those swaps came out, and they just weren't able to never necessarily do enough there for them at the end.
Yeah, it really was. As we head into our next map, which is another control point, Antarctic Peninsula is coming back. One of those maps, too, that I feel like a lot of people are starting to find a lot more fond of, especially if you're a Brawl team. It's very Brawl-centric. You can play a little bit different comps, but if you're not running the Rhine or the Ramatra, I feel like it's going to be rough sledding for you.
Yeah, I honestly agree with you there, but we haven't really seen Meta Rejects run a Brawl. We have seen them run a Rem. We haven't seen them run a Rhine. And I feel like we're going to see the Rem come back out, because when they ran that Rem, it worked really well for them. We have seen Undead Battery try to play a Brawl on some maps, and we could talk about Third Point Lijiang all night long and how that did not work because they stuck on the characters too long here. But I feel like that's really the only Brawl we've seen from them. Yeah, we've seen Ramatra come out sometimes, but it necessarily hasn't worked out for them that well.
Yeah, it really hasn't. And heading into Antarctic Peninsula, it's one of those things too, where especially with all three maps, they're very enclosed. Obviously, you do have the indoor portion, which I believe is called Labs, if I am not mistaken. I gotta warm up on that, but it's one of those things too where it's like it's very enclosed and very claustrophobic, especially if you're doing it. And we see two different comps come out. Call Me M and Meta Rejects are on the Ramatra comp, whereas inside of Undead Battery, they're sticking with that sort of Winston dive, as we see Capital and Poppy sticking to their respective roles now, with Poppy on the flex support and Capital onto that Sombra.
Ain't broke, don't fix it. And hey, the one map you couldn't remember the name of is the one map we're going to. We're going to Labs here first, and Akua. Oh, that anti-nade is huge there. Poppy able to find them, but Smugs immediately gets taken on as well, so no honest for either side right now. But now there's no healing for Undead Battery. No tank as well. Charybdis, though, still putting in a lot of damage and a lot of kills right now, but in the end, it won't matter.
Yeah, that's something great too. That's what every Ana lives for, being able to get that anti-nade on time perfectly with the dive. And that was great, especially with Akua timing it perfectly. And now it's Meta Rejects already having the point, and it's going to be them pinning in as Charybdis falls immediately to slow.
Yeah, but you immediately see Undead Battery try to come right back to point, try to actually take it here. And they're already almost there, about 95% of the way to taking it. If Meta Rejects steps off the point here for a moment, Undead Battery will take control.
Yeah, which is what happens immediately there, especially with them sort of being stuck in that little corner. But hey, they're going to start to collapse onto one specific person. But Call Me M is falling low, but Star Platinum gets purpled and almost falls.
Yeah, they will fall there. Slow being the one to take them out there. And if you're Undead Battery, here's how you kind of want to play this right now. I feel like you're just trying to stall out this point as long as you can. You can get a couple kills, great. But just stall it out as long as you can. You're only able to get 22%. Not bad, but probably you were looking to get a little bit more there.
Yeah, you were looking to probably get a lot more, especially now with Meta Rejects having 3 ultimates online, whereas Undead Battery only have the 2. They only have both of their DPS ults, which it could counter fairly well, but the pulse bomb on the side of Akua misses everything, and it missed the wide side of the barn.
Nano coming out here onto Akua. The EMP, though, coming out does hit the backline there of the Meta Rejects. Pulse bomb coming out from Charybdis will not find anyone there but Star Platinum, able to find Smugs as Undead Battery trying to shut down that support line for the Meta Rejects. But Akua and Slow, the DPS line, picking up the kills they need, make it 3 in a row for them.
Yeah, making it 3 in a row, and now they still have 3 ultimates online with Slow's Dragon. They have 4 ultimates online with both DPS ults and tank and 1 support. Whereas instead of Undead Battery, they really only have their tank and 2 support ultimates there. It's gonna be rough, Slud. It's gonna be rough for the side of Undead Battery to be able to fight this, especially when you're getting to almost 80% on the side of Meta Rejects.
Yeah, if you're Undead Battery, you need to find an early pick, and you probably desperately need to find it onto a character like Sandy or Smugs. Try to get one of them out, or both of them out. Kasuni Rush coming out here from Sandy, and oh, Slow, the Deadeye with the arrows, finds Poppy. No Ana available right now for Undead Battery. They do get hacked, but right now, Undead Battery needs to focus on picking up some kills, but Slow is the only one finding the kills at the moment.
Yeah, it is. As the rally comes out, is able to find Slow, but he's able to find Capital before that. And it looks like it's going to be rough, especially with the Annihilation comes out from They Call Me M, just trying to run around, punch people. And it looks like it could be a turning point, though. All of Undead Battery is back. The Nano comes out, and it's just M there trying to stay alive.
Yeah, the hack coming out onto M desperately needs to try to get rid of him here, but that block ability that they have, able to just withstand so much damage, negate a lot of it as well. Able to keep themselves alive here, but only able to keep themselves alive long enough for Charybdis to take them out. An Undead Battery able to retake the point here.
Yeah, they're able to retake it, getting over 30%. As Slow is just spy checking here for Capital because they do have the EMP, but it's gonna be rough here, especially with Meta Rejects switching over to the Winston now. But Akua is able to find Star Platinum, and that's the pick that you really wanted. That couldn't happen if you're Undead.
Absolutely, a pulse bomb coming out needs to find one. They won't find one with the pulse bomb, but hey, they'll find Smugs no matter what. Now they're trying to get rid of another one. Needle falling early. Again, you don't want to see your support fall very early in a team fight. Charybdis, though, not able to recall to keep themselves alive. Meta Rejects retake the point. Star Platinum coming back to the point, but it's really just them as Slow picking up kill after kill after kill here, able to take care of Poppy.
Yeah, they are. Oh my God, as Needle just gets deleted heading into point. But yeah, Yeah, I didn't even notice that was a nade. I thought that was a Helix rocket. That's great. But yeah, heading into now the next point, heading into
Icebreaker.
Icebreaker. Why is it called Icebreaker? I never knew that.
I think it's the ship going through the ice.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make a lot of sense as we see some swaps coming in. Meta Rejects going to the Junker Queen comp, whereas Undead Battery sort of sticking with this sort of Winston 6-man hybrid with the Ana and Lucio instead of the Kuriko. But never mind, they swapped to the Ramatra now instead.
Yeah, Undead Battery needs this round here. Poppy also swapping over to the Baptiste, which is something I really like. Almost, I was gonna say almost a mirror match until I looked at the comps again.
Yeah, Capital's on the Reaper. Something that, especially if you're Undead Battery, you gotta be playing up close and personal. Something that it looks like that they're willing to do as they're heading to do it. But Capital falls first to Akua's shot.
Yeah, and again, not the start you want for Undead Battery here, but they're still putting up a good fight right now, getting a little bit towards that point cap here first, but again, Metrix has the numbers, and Charybdis falling there, no DPS. However, Star Platinum able to find Smugs, that's a huge pick, no Immortality Field, no large damage, and Star Platinum just pummeling down a lot of members of the Meta Rejects here.
Yeah, they really are. It's just They Call Me M and the Lucio left of Sandy just trying to stay alive, and it looks like it could be Undead Battery getting first point here.
And they will, especially when they lost Capital at the start of it. I did not expect them to cap point first here, but hey, they were very resilient and won that fight. It was a very prolonged team fight.
Yeah, and this is sort of what you want to do, especially if you're Undead Battery. You want to be playing up close and personal, but also for Undead Battery, you want those fights to be going super, super long, so that way you can build your cooldowns, get in their fight, get in their face again, and then fall back. But on the side of Meta Rejects, they do have two ultimates, which I would be surprised if we see popped here.
Beat coming out early from Needle as the high noon comes out from, I believe that's Slow. Slow will find one with it right now. The Annihilation coming out from both Ramatras right now as they both just kind of face each other. 1-1, the punch, 1-1, the block. Now it's the other way around. The Death Blossom comes out. The Overclock comes out. They each find one. The Annihilation finally finding something there. Star Platinum able to win that one here. Calm End now, I think it's all by themselves here on point. Just eventually waiting to be taken out here. Actually, no, Slow's around as they take care of Poppy.
Yeah, Slow finds Poppy, but now it's all blue in the kill feed. Slow finds another one onto Needle, and now it's just Charybdis of the May still alive, just trying to get this point as much as we can as Capital walks back and gets punched in the face.
Capital just came by to say hi, and he went back to spawn real quick.
Yeah, but this is sort of what you see. You see the two sort of different styles of this comp clashing, and now it's going to be Meta Rejects trying to be able to hold this point, as I believe Undead Battery is at just over 65%, and it's going to be them also having the ult advantage, having both the Amplification Matrix and Charybdis' freeze to be able to cap this point.
Yeah, but this Blizzard that Charybdis has could be big. It could buy him a lot of space, and look what that does. It actually buys him a ton of space. It's working like a charm there, and it does get them the point back, only 29%, and the kills all go in the way of Undead Battery here.
Yeah, all of Undead Battery, even though Smugs died a little bit late, they are going to have at least one full team fight left. This could be last team fight as we see Akua swaps off of the Sojourn onto the May now to try to catch somebody on Undead Battery out of position.
And Poppy does have this damage matrix, which if they use it at a very good spot, it could be deadly. And this is exactly where I thought they were going to use it. But the Ice Wall coming up there from Akua is huge. And now Charybdis is going to use an Ice Wall of their own, but they let it fall there. Now the damage is coming out from the Meta Rejects. Beat coming out high noon, just a little bit too fast there for that beat. However, the Annihilation comes out, finds one already. Capital finds a second one here. Undead Battery looking good. The second kill coming from that Annihilation. Capital picking up another kill as well. Here comes the Death Blossom. They're just trying to get rid of M here. That's all that's left here for Meta Rejects. And Undead Battery sending us to a 0.3 on the Antarctic Peninsula.
Yeah, and that's really the great way how they did it. They played it very, very fast and went super fast into your face, especially having that May Reaper on the side of Undead Battery. That's what you want to do. You want to be in their face, and they played it perfectly.
Absolutely here, but as we head to the final point of the night, I believe it's, what is this one called? Research Facility?
You're asking the wrong person. I don't know. I don't know which one's which. I think I'm hearing that this one's Labs. What was the first one? I don't. That's so backwards. This map is backwards.
Okay, but here we're seeing Undead Battery come out, making some swaps, bringing out the Symmetro. Haven't seen Symmetro since basically first point of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, we really haven't, and it looks like they're going to be sticking with it. Never mind, I got baited. They're switching over to the Sombra. It's going to be a clash of two different styles. Meta Rejects going for this sort of heavy bro with the Shimada brothers, whereas Undead Battery, they're sticking with this sort of six-man dive style with the Winston.
Capital almost just walked into the wrong room there at the moment, able to get themselves out of that one. Luckily, Star Platinum, only one hit by that nade there thrown out by Smugs. The sleep coming out there onto Column M, but they immediately get woken up. However, Undead Battery gonna be able to cap point here first.
Yeah, they're able to cap it, and especially too with how they want to play this. They want to play it super aggressively, and that's what they're doing. Call Me M has to get Suzu to stay alive as Smugs falls now to Star Platinum.
Smugs not going to be providing the uppies for the moment here. Slow falls as well, and now another hack from Charybdis onto Column M. Gonna force them to fall back as well, but everyone for Undead Battery just collapses in on them.
Yeah, they really do. As now we see swaps coming out from Meta Reject. Slow is onto the Tracer, and I believe, yeah, it's a full comp swap. Column M is onto the Diva, and Akua is onto the Reaper now, as we see the supports stay the same.
And Star Platinum not going to be able to get out of that small room in time. Akua takes care of them with some help there from M right now. And Akua coming alive, picks up 2 kills there. Meta Rejects looking a lot stronger than they did last map already.
Yeah, they really are, as Sandy's able to find one more. I feel like if you're Undead Battery, you want to get to at least 50%, which is what they do, as we see a sleep kill. 5 damage.
Smug sent them to sleep forever there.
Yeah, he did. As we see Undead Battery, they do have the ult advantage, though, having that EMP as well as being close to the Nano Blossom, whereas Meta Rejects, the only 2 things that they're closest to is 2 things that didn't swap, both their support ultimates.
I mean, but you have to give Meta Rejects a lot of credit there. Almost everyone at 70 or above, other than Column M, that was one team, but they basically almost got all their ults there. The EMP coming out does hit 2 members. The Suzu, though, able to cleanse a lot of them as Sandy does use the Kasuni Rush as well. The Death Blossom comes out, does find one, but Akua still just staying alive here, able to find another kill.
And staying to find a little, Akua finds one of their own Needle with it, and Call Me M finds Poppy. That's both supports down for the side of Undead Battery, so Star Platinum isn't able to get any heals. As Meta Rejects are able to turn the fight and able to get it.
Yeah, but you have to say the Meta Rejects used 4 ultimates in that fight. Undead Battery, yeah, they used basically almost every ultimate they had, but they're gonna come back in this next engagement with both support ultimates.
Yeah, they do come out with full support, as we also see a swap though. Star Platinum is onto the Doomfist now, and it's gonna be rough, especially trying to kill it, but he does find Slow.
And remember, Undead Battery needs to win this point here, keep this series alive, getting rid of Slow, because they're the only one that had an ultimate ready for Meta Rejects right now. And Undead Battery trying to take control of the point. Needle able to take care of Akua there, and Undead Battery able to flip the point.
Able to flip the point. Needle finding another one and a third. Oh, I was hoping he was going to clean up everybody. But yeah, Undead Battery, now they're coming to their own as we see Akua decide, you know what, you're having too much fun already on the Doomfist. I'm swapping over to the Sombra of my own, as they have both their Diva and their Tracer ult up. Whereas inside of Undead Battery, really the only 2 things that they have right now is both their support ults, but they're close to their own EMP.
You have Big Bomb and Little Bomb ready to go right now for the Meta Rejects here at the moment, but still, Undead Battery, I talked about, they had both support ultimates ready to go into last team fight. They still have them ready to go into this team fight. So that could be big for them. Star Platinum here is hacked. The beat coming out from Needle does hit 4 members. The bomb coming out from Column M to just get into the remake. The Nano coming out on the Star Platinum. This is scary. EMP comes out, does hit 2. Charybdis and Needle find those 2 immediately. Now the Meteor Strike coming out does not find anyone there, but Undead Battery already cleaning up this team fight, and all they need to do is get rid of Column M, and we'll be heading to a map 6.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing right here. We're headed to a map 6. Now if you're Meta Rejects, you start to wonder, was trolling a little bit much on Esperanza? Is that the turning point for Undead Battery to try to start this reverse sweep, as they starting to show lives and starting to show that momentum gained throughout these last 2 maps?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely know they were trolling at the start of Esperanza here, but I mean, Undead Battery, the second point, or the first point of this map, looked kind of lost, and I thought that, oh, Meta Rejects is not joking around with us anymore, and they look like they want to end this here now. But Undead Battery then came out and responded quickly, and yeah, we saw Meta Rejects make those swaps to try to respond to Undead Battery, but at the end, Undead Battery, unlike what we saw in the first half of the series, started to make swaps of their own once they realized it wasn't working out, and it worked out great for them.
Yeah, they really did. And now with Undead Battery, or now with Meta Rejects having the map pick again, it's going to be wondering where we're going to head to next, because they look strong on a lot of different comps. But now that Undead Battery has momentum and is swifted, especially with Capital switching over to the DPS, it's sort of one of those things too, where it's like, why wasn't he playing DPS from the start? Poppy looks pretty good on the flex support. It looks like a whole another team, especially with Capital on that DPS.
Yeah, I mean, and there might be people who question that, but at the moment right now, you don't question it. It's working out. Like, you question it maybe when it starts to fail a little bit, but at the moment, it's working out great. You don't question it at all, that swap right there. And maybe we need to start looking at Meta Rejects a little bit here, because maybe they might have lost it. Like, the momentum not on their side anymore. Undead Battery has that momentum here at the moment.
Yeah, they really do. As we're about to head into our next map, another hybrid, something we talked about a little bit earlier, Eichenwald is the next map.
All right, we got the Scrims trio. We're heading to Germany.
We're headed to Germany. This one we know for sure.
I swear, if you tell me it's Austria, I'm going to be mad.
No, but it's... Yeah, no, Eichenwald is one of those maps too, especially when it came out in Overwatch 1. It's very weird, especially on point 1. You play a lot of Brawl. It's very stagnant. It's very one sort of plane, where then you head to point 2, where there's this big castle. It's very dive-centric, and then you have to sort of switch your comp around to try to deal with it. It's one of those maps too that's very interesting to play and very interesting to watch and see what these two teams have in mind, especially with how well they've played all these different comps so far that we've seen throughout these 5 headed into 6 maps.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when Eichenwald came in as the first DLC map, and I remember a lot of people when it first came out said that they didn't necessarily like this map, but as we've gone on, we got more DLC maps, and as Overwatch has kind of aged, I feel like a lot of people came around to the fact that Eichenwald, outside of King's Row, in my opinion, might be the best hybrid map in the game.
Yeah, it really might, and especially too those little changes that they did. I remember when they only had that one entryway into that door on the left-hand side. It was very rough to attack on, and now they sort of made it a lot more even, especially getting rid of that one ticket. That sort of changes a lot of stuff. But we see two very different comps for both sides. We see Undead Battery using this Junker Queen comp, Capital still on that DPS. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. As we see Meta Rejects swap to what started them off onto this ball pharmacy comp that we saw on Lijiang.
Yeah, but look at Undead Battery right now. They have a counter to that pharmacy combo with their own Mercy Echo combo here as well. So that air support, that area superiority battle is going to be probably the most interesting battle of this map.
Yeah, it really is. As Slow is getting pressured and has to translocate out early before he can get a hack off.
Akua winning the battle of the air superiority very early here. Capital getting low too. Has to recall to keep themselves alive. Slow looking for them. Gonna be able to find them. And oh no, Needle.
Oh no, Needle's in very bad position here. Gets hacked and falls. And now it's all blue in the kill feed. Something that it's gonna be rough for Undead Battery here, especially trying to fight this. Especially if we aren't able to get somebody sort of wide open. As we see a swap already, Capital switches over to the Widowmaker, and Star Platinum switches over to the Doomfist.
Interesting swaps, but you immediately see both M and Slow. No, oh. Slow already. Capital coming out, finding 2 headshots off the back. Akua, though, will be able to get res and take some revenge there on the Capital to even things out right now. Even Capital letting everyone know.
Yeah, Akua does find 2 though, getting res right away, and so it's still all blue in the kill feed. I'm surprised that Star Platinum decided to swap to the Doomfist when they know that Slow is already on the Sombra, something that Doomfist players really don't like to go into because of how difficult it is, especially being able to get hacked. As we see Capital switch back over to the Tracer, something that they started out on.
And Poppy getting hacked here, and you immediately see Column M try to dive in on them, get rid of them. The EMP coming out does hit Charybdis, and Needle only Charybdis will fall here early, slow, trying to get out, but Poppy going to be able to take care of them. Column M will shut down Needle, though, so no res available right now for Undead Battery.
As we see Akua playing ground Pharah here, apparently trying to deal with Capital's Tracer. But yeah, like you said, it's going to be Undead Battery here starting to win the fight a little bit because they had to give up, because Meta Rejects had to give up a lot of space. But as you see the barrage come out, and they find two, but Akua does fall.
Akua does fall there, but Charybdis is able to take care of them, and both Echo and Mercy immediately and Pharah immediately res back in this one. Charybdis able to find Sandy. Akua able to find Capital right now. The minefield coming out here from Column M. Akua shuts down. Charybdis slow shuts down the Mercy part of that one. The Nano coming out onto Akua right now, and oh, Poppy able to escape with their life somehow.
Yeah, Akua's just on a different level right now. They've been playing their own game. But on the side of Undead Battery, they have every single ultimate basically online, whereas the side of Meta Rejects, the only one that they really have is Sandy's Valkyrie, which is strong, but it's not going to be that strong when they call him Emma's dead in the Undead Battery's backline.
Yeah, and right now, Undead Battery needs to go in on this advantage. The Casino Rush coming out as well. They're heavily investing into this team fight right now. Already one tick their way. Charybdis, though, falling is not what you want to see. However, they're going to try to get them res back into it, but they get hacked. Calm M back in the picture. Able to take care of Capital, and look at how close Undead Battery are to capping this point.
Yeah, very close, but Akua is there to stay alive. 96.9%, almost 97%. If you're Meta Rejects, or if you're Undead Battery, you wish that it was just 3% more, especially with 30 seconds left. You have to now fight and try to be able to get it, but you do have 3 ultimates left.
And Slow and Akua will have their ultimates ready here. Those are 2 big team fight winning ultimates, ones that could end this round right now. Column M doing a lot of damage, but Capital finds Smugs out early. A big pick off here for Undead Battery. The EMP does come out, hits 2. The barrage comes out. It finds those 2. It finds the support line for Undead Battery. The Meteor Strike coming out. Charybdis duplicate here into a Sombra. You know, no matter what point, that was just a desperation duplicate there. But look at it, it's working out here for Undead Battery. All they need to do now is just get up M. M, though, able to find Charybdis. Capital finds Sandy, and M just spinning to try to end this round. Not gonna be able to do, but still, M able to get a minefield here now.
Able to get a minefield. He could turn it here. Needle does fall, and they are staying alive. The backline is back for the side of Meta Rejects as he does fall a little bit lower, but he does have his shield up, being able to get up to 212 HP as the Nano comes out now for the side of Akua, who's on the Echo and able to find Poppy.
M finally out, but Akua nanoed and ready to go. 3 kills going their way. The res trying to come out, will not get it, but it's Akua again with 4. Can they get the ace? They're gonna get the ace and end this round.
End this round at the perfect time. They called me M, was able to stay alive just long enough for the backline to come in. Akua come in with the Echo, gets the ace to be able to get it. And Undead Battery 97%. As we see, they call him M, saying, "I just love Pharah." I don't think you love Pharah. I think you love Akua, just being able to carry almost every single fight they've been in. And I feel like we've said their names so much so far today.
I mean, yeah, Akua has just been on it. No matter who they're playing, between the Pharah, between the Hanzo, the they were playing the Junkrat as well. Like, they've been all over the place with their picks, and they have found a lot of value with them. But now, I mean, Undead Battery, all you had to do was get rid of M on that ball, and you're probably still on your offensive phase right now. You're probably pushing the cart. However, not able to kill Column M, and not even able to get the first point capped. Meta Rejects has their win condition.
Yeah, as we see Undead Battery sticking with this sort of diva comp, this diva dive, something that's been working for them a little bit, but we see Meta Rejects going over to this comp. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Akua back on the Echo now instead of the Pharah, something that we saw at the very end, as we see Slow also on the Widowmaker to maybe get a quick shot and try to get somebody, but who knows, they could swap at the very end.
Star Platinum showing us their Dragon Spray. But, you know, again, right now, I mean, Akua coming back out on to that Echo worked really well for them last time. And Undead Battery in the situation again where really the main counter to Akua might end up being Poppy.
Yeah, it really might, as we see I call him M just trying to gain some space. but he does get hacked. They do get hacked up and fall to Capital. Something that's going to be very rough to deal with, but especially now that you're on the attack rather than the defense.
Yeah, Starplatinum though able to find slow here, and this is a good start for Undead Battery. They need to win these team fights when they can. The hack there coming out onto Akua, but Akua able to get away.
Yeah, you really are. And now with Akua being hacked up and sort of trying to get as basically all the attention onto themselves, so that way they call them just typically roll free in the backline.
But now Akua's still alive, can still do a lot of damage. The hack coming out there, but slow, able to find Capital as they may have flown too close to the sun right there. And now Undead Battery has to play without their Sombra.
Yeah, they do, and it's going to be rough here. But on the side of Undead Battery, they do have Charybdis's Pulse Bomb, which could be massive if they're able to stick it. And they do stick it onto They Call Me M, but the copy comes out, and now they have another. Now they have 2 tracers on the side of Meta Rejects.
Sandy able to res Calm M there. They immediately lose their life, but Calm M finds a kill immediately. You cannot let these reses get off. The duplication comes and goes there for Akua. Not gonna be able to find anyone, but still Meta Rejects finding some kills here.
They are finding some kills, and it also is Undead Battery really in the kill feed, being able to find 2 more, and also have 2 ultimates up. I think it's just Call Me M has to back out completely. But if you're Meta Rejects, you would take it. You got a tick, and you had just over, I believe, 2 minutes left in the timing.
Yeah, I believe it's about 2:10 right now. But if you're Undead Battery, 1 tick through 2 minutes, that's pretty good. If you ask me, the hack trying to get out there onto Calm M, but they're able to roll away from him. Not going to be able to roll away from that one there. The Suzu comes out, but does not hit Calm M there. And now Smugs in a very dangerous spot. Somehow able to keep themselves alive right now. Full squad of ultimates ready now for Undead Battery. The EMP comes out, only hits Calm M, but hey, that's exactly what they were looking for.
Oh no, and Charybdis has to recall back into the mine as the bomb comes out. Does find slow, though they aren't able to translocate away, so now they're even. It's 1-1 for both sides as the hack comes out on the side of Call Me M, and now it's already the kill feed. Poppy finds that one, and Needle finds the other.
Yeah, and you know what? If you're Undead Battery, you take that team fight. You got rid of the minefield. You got rid of, I believe, Smugs' Kasuni Rush. Sandy used Valkyrie as well there. And yeah, you used a couple ultimates as well, but you came out on top and did not give up a tick.
Yeah, now you see swaps come out for the side of Meta Rejects as well. The Junker Queen comes out for They Call Me M, and Smeeks switches over to the Moira, but now switches decides, you know what, I'm going to switch back to the Kuriko, but they're only at 30%. The only thing they have now is both the EMP and the duplicate for the side of Meta Rejects.
Oh, and Akua duplicating the person they exactly want to, but however, they do lose Sandy in it, but you do see Akua eat the pulse bomb there in this duplicated diva form. They're trying to build up to a bomb, not gonna be able to as they get demech'd. So again, another duplication for Akua this round, not gonna find anything.
Yeah, not gonna find anything, but the rally does come out. So now if you're Undead Battery, you don't really have anything. The closest is the bomb as the EMP finds 3.
Finds 3, but Capital able to escape from it. Charybdis not falling as well, and Starplatinum does have enough health to pretty much not have to worry about it. And nothing comes from that EMP. Everyone able to stay alive. Starplatinum does have another bomb ready to go here. I believe we're about nearing a minute to go here. Starplatinum shuts down slow. Meta Rejects trying to get a tick on this point. As Starplatinum trying to get rid of this Mercy, focusing in on them, trying to get rid of them. They're gonna be able to.
They're going to be able to too, and now the Nano comes out, finding another one, finding the Junker Queen on the Call Me M, and now it's just Akua and Smugs left. Smugs falls, Akua falls, and now it's just slow, being able to try to get this touch to the last second, is able to do it, and doesn't get hacked up, but now it's just them trying to be able to fight this all by themselves.
We have seen some incredible plays come out from these teams earlier, but we do not see Meta Rejects get back in time. Undead Battery have forced a map 7.
They have forced a map 7. They are back from the dead, and it all started with Esperanza, Meta Rejects being a little bit too fun, coming out on that Life Weaver and giving all the momentum onto Undead Battery. Akua, despite their best efforts, isn't able to carry their team to a map win and the grand final win.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give a lot of credit to Undead Battery. During that halftime break, I was kind of just thinking to myself, well, we're probably one map away here from calling it a night, but Undead Battery got some help, and maybe they got that, the kick in the pants they absolutely needed there from Meta Rejects coming out on that little jokey comp there on Esperanza.
Yeah, they really did, and now heading into a map 7, if you're Meta Rejects, I feel like you're deflated. You've been at map point the entire time. You've just needed to win one map, and now guess what? It's do or die. Whoever wins this is gonna win the Ascension draft tournament.
Yeah, and you know, almost it's insane because we were talking about it after map 3, how dominant Meta Rejects have looked. They looked like a team that I don't even think, you know, they could beat if they were going up against them right there. They looked incredibly scary to go up against. When we talked about it, we did say Undead Battery did show signs of life in every map of those first 3 maps. They just need to finally put it together, and these last 3 maps, they put it together and they have kept it together.
Yeah, they really have. It's been surprising too, because like I was saying before, after we came into the halftime break, they've been striving on the chaos, and now they've been really doing good. And now we're heading into, I believe, Nepal being our final map.
Yeah, heading to another control point map here now. Nepal. I mean, it's. I don't know about Nepal. It's a control point map. I feel like it's basically almost any control point map you can play a lot of different comps. But at the moment, Meta Rejects, like our producer just said, might be in denial here, trying to figure out, you know, what they have to play here to get them to win this one. Because hey, Akua, the pharmacy combo here, I mean, has been great for them all night, but it got shut down a little bit there on that last round.
Yeah, it really did. And now heading into Nepal, it's one of those maps where it's like, I know we're talking about Arctic Peninsula being very heavy brawl. Nepal is more of that. I think if you have to play brawl on basically 2 out of the 3 maps. I feel like you can run it on. I feel like you can get away with not running it on 1 of the 2, on 1 of the 3. But it's just gonna be rough for Meta Rejects here, especially if all the wind is out of their sails.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, something I did not expect that we would see going into halftime. We're going into a map 7. Undead Batteries coming back up from the grave, much like their name here is done almost the impossible here right now. 1 map win away, 2 sub-map point wins away from reverse sweeping the Ascension draft tournament here.
Yeah, as we're heading into the one where I feel like this is the one that, or Shrine, I feel like is the one that you can get rid of sort of whatever you want to run with, as we see Undead Battery starting with this Zarya instead of anything else.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by the Zarya pick. I have not seen Zarya in a long time.
Yeah, it's one of those characters that I feel like is still very strong, especially if you're getting against the right thing. But we see Meta Rejects sticking with this sort of heavy brawl, the Ramacha style.
Oh, that's not how you want to get it started here, but they're able to get out of it, actually. Nope, spoke too soon. Immediately melted down.
Yeah, melted down, and now, without your tank, the rest of your team is going to fall. As Akua finds Capital on the Reaper, and will we see some swaps go out for Undead Battery? It doesn't look like it.
Maybe they want to try this Zarya again. If it gets shut down as fast as it did this last time, we might see a swap. Capital, though, swapping here to the Ashe. I do like that swap.
I do like it too. It's going to be very interesting as we see Column M gets very low. Misses the Suzu actually. It has to use the Nemesis form to try to stay alive, but they do end up falling.
Yeah, Capital immediately getting a lot of benefit with that dynamite. They're able to find Column M. Makua will fall as well. And Undead Battery going to be able to come right back into this one here and take the point.
Yeah, take it as well with a little bit less than 30% for Meta Rejects. Whereas on the side, for their ultimates, they only really have the Nano. But Charybdis has got every single health pack that he is imaginable. But yeah, it's going to be rough now for Meta Rejects to be able to try to get in, especially having to deal with the Sombra in your backline.
Yeah, Charybdis looking for the hack onto someone now. It's going to be Akua, but now they have their eyes set on Smugs. But Akua shuts them down with an icicle through the skull.
Yeah, a very nice shot from Akua trying to stay alive as the Nano comes out onto the Ramacha of They Call Me M to try to get Star Platinum die, but they aren't falling.
They're not falling, but they are not necessarily looking the best at the moment. They're trying to get back out to a point where they can get healed. They get the nano instead to keep them alive. Here comes the grab. It's only focused on the Call Me M here, and they won't be able to find them either. That bubble trying to keep it alive. The Consumer Rush coming out here from Sandy. The beat coming out now from Needle as Bob comes out from Capital. It's on point. It's going to do a lot of damage here. The EMP, though, coming out from Charybdis will find a couple there, but he's not going to be able to necessarily take the point back just yet. Are the Meta Rejects. The Annihilation coming out from Column M, though, will do the job there.
Yeah, it will do the job, and I'm wondering if Star Platinum went a little bit too aggressive with the nano, making sure they can't alive. But they do switch to the Doomfist, something that's gonna be very interesting. But it do gets left up and almost fall. But Capital actually finds Call Me M instead, and the point gets flipped for Undead Battery.
And Capital in the spot right now basically has no worry about, no pressure coming out from anyone on the Meta Rejects, and Undead Battery able to clean up that team fight, and now inching their way to 50% on the board.
Yeah, they are, but on the side of Meta Rejects, they do have almost every single ultimate up with both DPS and Smugs' Nano, whereas Undead Battery, the closest they are is to Star Platinum's Meteor Strike, which it's not going to get you really much of anything.
But that Dynamite, though, going to be able to get some free ult charge there for Capital. A good little chunk there right now, but here comes the Overclock. It immediately finds one. Make it two here from Slow. Make it three for the... Make it four, but Akua is able to find that fourth one. Slow, though, will eventually find four of their own.
And he couldn't find the ace of it, but the Nano does come out there as well. So that's two ultimates there. So if you're Undead Battery, you're taking it because, hey, that gives you some stuff. You didn't have to use anything because you didn't have anything. But now on the side of Meta Rejects, the only ultimate they have is Akua's Blizzard, as well as they're pretty close to Sandy's Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, absolutely right now. But essentially for Undead Battery, you're almost in Final Fight territory right now. Charybdis sleeping on point, Slow shuts them down forever. The Meteor Strike doesn't find anything, and Meta Rejects cleaning up first point here of Nepal.
Yeah, they are, as Needle falls off the map, trying to be able to get to the touch. But now you're at the point now where, hey, the brawl looks very good for the side of Meta Rejects, but Undead Battery was the one that was actually trying out something different, and I'm wondering if I wish they would switch back to the brawl a lot sooner and just went brawl v brawl, but especially heading into, which I believe is Village here, I wonder if they're going to try to just stick with this or go to that brawl style that's been working with them with the Reaper and the May.
I mean, at the moment they're probably considering it, and actually they're going to the Diva.
Oh, okay.
Of all the maps, this is probably the best sim map. I know Temple gets a lot of sim play as well, but this is probably the best sim map, but it's probably just gonna be a TP and then a swap.
As we see swaps come out for the side of Meta Rejects as well, they're on the Tracer Genji Doomfist, so it's gonna be a lot of dive and a lot of Doomfist being played today.
Yeah, but you immediately see that each team both going for that high ground there. The Tracers running into each other here on the low ground. Winner of this Tracer duel will probably be the one that is able to take point here first. And technically, Charybdis is going to be the winner of that one.
Yeah, they are. And they have to fall back a bit to try to stay alive as Charybdis almost falls again. But now the point is officially open, and I believe it is all Undead Battery. It looks like Meta Rejects is going to say something about it.
Yeah, as they find the first couple kills here. Undead Battery is still trying to get this first point cap. However, Column M on that Doomfist, able to find one, and the rest is just cleanup there.
Yeah, it really is. Even though Undead Battery had what looked like the better positioning, they were able to, on Meta Rejects were able to clean up completely. As now it looks like it's going to be rough for Undead Battery to be able to try to get into this.
Yeah, but, I mean, Undead Battery, all they have to do is get one pick. That's really all they need to do. If they find the pick, they're on to Column M, because Doomfist has to play very aggressive. If they're able to get rid of them early, you might see a point flip.
Yeah, you really might, but now the Pulse comes out and doesn't find anybody, but Star Platinum falls low and almost falls to the side of Meta Rejects.
Yeah, and right now Undead Battery still looking for that, and that's a great hack. They're on to Column M, and look at that. Column M out of this picture. You're going to see Meta Rejects try to stall out this point a little bit longer here, but Undead Battery, especially with the tank advantage, will probably be able to do it, and they do flip the point.
Yeah, they do finally flip it as Star Platinum finds two, and I don't think they had to use a single ultimate to be able to get it for the side of Undead Battery. So now they have three ultimates with well, their last two being super close, as we see Meta Rejects, then they call them swap over to the Diva now off of the Doomfist.
Yeah, they want to match the or the Undead Battery here right now. But like you said, Undead Battery almost has all 5 of their ultimates ready to go. You just need to start trying to cautiously and smartly use these ultimates. Try not to just waste them all in one team fight here if you're Undead Battery.
Yeah, you really do. As Capital and Charybdis is falling super low, but point gets flipped. Rally and the Blade come out, and it's just going to be all fast as it's all blue in the kill feed. The only one that falls that's on the side of MetaRejects is Smugs.
Oh. What? I don't. That was not. They should not have used that. Oh, okay. Star Platinum. Okay. Wait. Maybe they're proving me wrong here. But they're gonna get the DMAC here on the Star Platinum, but Capital coming back in, able to find a couple kills. Charybdis coming back now as well. Maybe that bomb use there, which I thought was the wrong thing to do, ends up being the right move.
It ends up being the right move too, and also eating Slow's Pulse Bomb there as well, so that's another ultimate use on the side of MetaRejects. And yes, they did get to just about 70%, but Undead Battery is able to come in and flip it right away. And now they have a few ultimates of their own. They do have the Pulse Bomb as well, as they're pretty close to, oh no, that's 12%. They only have the Pulse Bomb to their name.
Pulse Bomb coming out there does find Smugs. That's huge. It's the Consumer Rush though coming out from Sandy. As you see, MetaRejects get very aggressive, but Slow gets very low as well. And now again, we see Star Platinum getting demeched right now. They're desperately trying to get back into it, but you do see Slow make sure they're not going to be able to here. Undead Battery still trying to pick up some kills here. Hold on this point as long as they can. They have taken the lead now. Calmem's going to use the bomb to get back into their mech here. Not going to be able to find anyone with the bomb. Not going to be able to find anyone with the remech either, but they won't need to.
Yeah, they won't need to, but now on both sides, they really don't have a single ultimate. The only one that is up is Slow's Pulse Bomb, which if they're able to stick somebody, it could be massive. But actually, as I say that, the Blade comes online for the side of Akua.
Yeah, but right now, MetaRejects 80% and counting for them. Undead Battery needs to make a move to the point fast, and you do see one person immediately go there. I believe it's probably Capital, but it looks like it's actually Star Platinum there as well. Now the rest of Undead Battery trying to get to the point. But we do see Akua has this Blade ready to go again. They get hacked. They pop the Blade right now. They have to use Deflect. They get one dash through, still keeping themselves alive here, but they will not find anything with that Blade. A great hack coming out there by Capital. Charybdis uses the Pulse Bomb, not going to be able to find anyone with it there. 3 ultimates ready for Undead Battery. The rally now coming out for them as it is into overtime right now. They're going to be able to retake the point here, though.
Yeah, and that's great for the side of Undead Battery, really only needing to use one ultimate. They did use 2 there, but being able to use a rally to stay alive. EMP comes out, does find 2 at least, and the rally comes out for the side of Smokes and the Nano onto Charybdis, I believe.
Star Platinum here going after Akua. Now the Kasuni Rush coming out here from MetaRejects. We're in final fight territories for both sides, but we do see Needle find one. The Pulse Bomb finds Needle. Bolt Brigida's out of the playing field, but we do see MetaRejects lose their tank first. Charybdis also out as well. Undead Battery holding on to this point right now. They get rid of Akua. It's up to basically Slow here at the moment. They do have Smugs back as well on the Lucio, but they're not long for this world either.
No, they're not. Slow, the last one alive, and now it's just They Call Me M on the Wrecking Ball, which we've seen before stay alive, but they can't stay alive. They get deleted, and now we're headed to a final map in the map 7.
MetaRejects can say all they want about, we were just playing, we were just trolling, we were just having some fun. This is essentially the nut up or shut up time here. It's map 7.3, winner take all. What more could you ask for?
Yeah, as we see MetaRejects decide to go back to this Ramatra comp, something that did go fairly well for them, especially on point 1. But Undead Battery sticking to what's working, sticking to their tried and true this Diva Symmetra or this Diva Sombra comp that they've been doing fairly well with.
Yeah, Undead Battery though gonna probably only use the Symmetra here as a TP, and then you're gonna see Charybdis probably swap over to the Tracer. We've seen them do that a lot. Expected it fully here. MetaRejects though, going back to, honestly, I really do like this comp that the MetaRejects have coming out.
Yeah, it's really good, especially against Charybdis' Tracer, which if you're able to get that and hit it, you're dead. But hey, Slow almost falls super low, gets up, I live to about 30 HP, but the backline of MetaRejects is able to keep him alive, and and it looks like it's Undead Battery on the side of being able to cap this point.
Charybdis living on a hope and a prayer here at the moment. Star Platinum maybe playing a little bit too far forward. Charybdis will fall here first. Star Platinum gonna get demech'd right now. Undead Barry trying to cap this point here first, but the Meta Reject's not gonna allow them to.
Yeah, they're not going to allow them to either, but they're not going to allow them at all. But Star Platinum goes a little bit too aggressive, I feel like. If they were able to stay back just a little bit, they feel like they could have capped the point on the side of Undead Battery. But now, if you look at ultimates, really the closest thing they're up to is Akuya's Blizzard, which I believe is at about 70%, which is a very good ultimate, especially against this Undead Battery core.
Yeah, but Needle swapping over to the Zenyatta here. They definitely want to try to shut down someone with that swap. That's the only reason you're making it.
Yeah, you really are, and especially being able to try to get that extra damage, but also being able to orb your Tracer and keep them alive for very much so. But it looks like Capital on the backline trying to find somebody, and does find Smeeks as Charybdis falls.
Smugs falls, Charybdis falls right there. The anti here on to column M at the moment. If you're Undead Battery, you want to try to get rid of that Ramatra there. You're not going to be able to, but you're still pumping in a lot of damage. Capital does fall over. They immediately trade it back out there on to Slow, and now we do see M in a bad spot. The Blizzard coming out here. You immediately see Capital try to get back in, Star Platinum try to get back in time to save some people. They're gonna be able to.
Charybdis finding two with the Pulse Bomb being the turning point right there. It looked like Akuya's freeze was gonna be the turning point, but no, it's Charybdis with the Pulse Bomb, and now Undead Battery have 4 ults to their name. Whereas on the side of Meta Rejects, they do have 4 as well, but the Annihilation from They Call Me M is a little bit behind, as Akuya does swap over to the Genji now, something that we've seen them play a lot so far in these maps.
Yep, the EMP coming out early, hits 2. They're immediately able to get rid of 1 there. It does look like the Kiriko is going to be able to get out of that one there, but Slow actually able to find Star Platinum, who went maybe a little bit too far there. High Noon now coming out here from Slow, but they get slept out of it.
Big sleep there, making sure you stay alive, especially with the Ana on the other side. But hey, the Transcendence and the Kitsune Rush comes out. They Call Me M is trying to stay alive, especially using this, but it looks like it's going to be Meta Rejects being able to hold it. The Kitsune Rush being one of the strongest ultimates, especially with that, the amplified just movement speed and everything like that, able to just sort of roll over Undead Battery.
Yeah, right now, Meta Reject still does have a couple ultimates here. That Nano, they have an Annihilation, and Akua's building up to a Blade here. So there's stuff that, that Nano can play with, but you're probably going to give it to column M here with that Annihilation ready to go. Poppy does have a Nano of their own ready to go, and they've been very prone to using it on Star Platinum to engage in the fights.
Yeah, they really have, as Charybdis also has that, but Call Me M does get purpled and almost falls at 100 HP. But Akuya does find 2. I believe he got nanoed there as well, finding the backline of the Undead Battery. Charybdis falls to Slow, and it's all blue in the kill feed. And now it's just Star Platinum needing to get out and try to stay alive, with I believe them just being just at 90%.
Yeah, they're staggering them out here now, 90% and counting, and the kills all going the way of the Meta Rejects here. You do see the Nano coming in here onto Charybdis. We're into overtime right now. Is there one more incredible miracle coming out here from the Undead Barry? The kills feed is saying no. It's up to Charybdis and only Charybdis. But with Charybdis falling, you do see Star Platinum coming back on the Wrecking Ball here. High Noon coming out from Slow, but Star Platinum dies. Undead Battery almost completes the reverse sweep, but Meta Rejects in the end is able to make sure that they are the champions of the Ascension draft tournament.
Yeah, they really are, and it looked like too Undead Battery had those great moments. It looked like they were going to be coming back, but Slow, even though we talked about Akuya the entire time, Slow was the one that sort of took the wind out of the sails with this amazing 4K, bit the Nano overclock, something that was very strong, especially against Undead Battery, and Meta Rejects finally able to get that last point.
Yeah, and I mean, Meta Rejects in the first 3 maps looked very strong. Undead Battery, like we said, they looked strong. They looked strong at points in the first 3 maps, and then the next 3 maps after that halftime break, it was all Undead Battery. Meta Rejects looked like they had life at that point, or at some points of the second 3 maps, maps 4 through 6. But yeah, I'm making this much more complicated than it needs to be. But I mean, Meta Rejects said that, we were just playing, we were just giving them a map. Like, No, you should not do that. The Undead Battery almost made them pay for that.
Yeah, it was the Jimmy Butler, oh, we'll get them in the next one. Oh, we'll get them in the next one. Oh, we'll get them in the next one. And then they were finally able to get it in map 7, being able to close it off on .32. I was just waiting for it to be a 99-99, getting into overtime for another 13 minutes like it was on map 1.
Yeah, that would have been impressive to see there. But I mean, when we look at the map results here, I mean, like we could just easily talk about like there was the first half, there was the second half, and then there was map 7. I mean, first half, it looks a lot closer than it actually was in my opinion. Lijiang Tower was very close, but King's Row and Circle Royale were basically all meta rejects. Then Undead Battery in those next 3 maps looked as strong as meta rejects did in those first 3.
Yeah, and especially, like you said it too, it looks a lot closer than it was. The only reason why I feel like it looks that close was because Undead Battery was on attack first. So they had to push it, and they didn't cap it all the way, especially on King's Row and Circle Royale. They got very close. But then I think Meta Rejects capped both points at the very end with time remaining, which, again, it shows to how strong it was. And then you see it after the break. Esperanza comes out, Undead Battery, I believe they cap it too. They don't even win on time. They fully cap the point. And then Arctic Peninsula comes in, Undead Battery, they looked weak on that first point on research, I believe it was. And then they look strong in the last 2. And then Eichenwald, it's 1-0. They were just not able to cap that first point, and Meta Rejects just weren't able to really do much on it. And then, of course, Nepal, like we saw right there, Meta Rejects turned it up to 11 again and just was able to roll over Undead Battery.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you gotta give Undead Battery a lot of credit here. Those first 3 maps, I mean, they weren't the best performances, but then the next 3, like I've been saying, they looked very strong, almost completing that reverse sweep there, forced a map 7, forced a .3 on map 7. They had really nothing to hang their heads about here in the end. Like, they put on a great show here tonight. I feel like they're the Meta Rejects, that those first 3 map wins were just a little bit too much to overcome there.
Yeah, it really was. And especially too, I think if Undead Battery won one of those, obviously we would be talking about it in a whole different light. But at the end of the day, Undead Battery, I think they have something to hang their hat on. Obviously, this is just an off-season tournament, but hey, they looked good. And I think that also they were like, hey, guess what? We came in second in this. We can take that into the regular season. And especially knowing, I believe a lot of these players are going to be playing in different leagues. And I believe also in the Ascension tier, they can hang their hat on and be like, hey, look, we came in second in the Ascension tier draft tournament, and we can prove ourselves now.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with, I believe, the regular season or season 11 here starting in about 3 weeks, if I'm right. I think I might be.
Yes, it is. I should know because I'm teaming. I have a team this year.
Yeah, so 3 weeks away. I mean, this is a good warm-up for a lot of these players, especially with the new Ascension tier like that this was here. That's going to be a fun thing for them now.
That's going to be really fun. I'm going to be excited to watch some of these players, especially if they are on different teams, play against each other, especially with, I believe, Akua just being able to pop off, especially on Meta Reject, seeing them in the regular season. Capital switching over off of the support onto the DPS, which was a storyline that we talked about a little bit, but hey, they were able to make it work, and at the end of the day, it just came up just a little bit short, but again, who knows if they swapped a little bit sooner if we would be talking about a different outcome here.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the end of the day, Meta Rejects, rejecting the meta on the first 3 maps a little bit. Then they went back to the meta, are your Ascendant Draft Tournament champions here. I want to give a quick shout out to our producer and our OBS man, CFB, or CBF, and thank you, CBF, and I believe it's Wareagle. And Wareagle, they did a great job tonight making sure that you guys got everything, that you guys saw everything that we did. Karma, thank you as well. You were a great caster as well. And I'll let you take us out, man.
Yeah, again, obviously from, like Dex was saying about from CBS and Wareagle, Dex is here as well. I believe you've been casting some CGL as well. I've been hearing that in the rumblings. That's been fun. And of course, coming from us all here at Tranquility. We'll see you in the regular season, which is coming up very soon, as well as our Valorant tournament, which is coming up, I believe, next week. We'll see you all then.
can't chat to them. They can't chat to them.